best thing about watching football this weekend? Talking football on Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Reaction Monday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, and of course our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark. Sharky, it's great to have you back here.
Oh, it's great to be back, Beam.
On a Monday. We didn't think you were coming back. Bob, happy Monday, buddy. What's going on?
Absolutely. Some people leave and never return, Shark. So,
True.
We're happy to have you in here. It's been so long. I was worried that someone of your position in life may not remember how to do everything,
Or even come back.
or even remember where it is you worked.
My position in life, do you mean my old age?
No.
You were worried that I would forget how to do things?
I was worried that you wouldn't be able to get the handcuffs off, Shark. That's what I was really worried about. The Jan would let you out of your cage.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff that you've been through the last 2 weeks. We're just happy to see you.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. What's going on, buddy? How's your
I'm
weekend?
happy to get hit by a hurricane, too.
Yeah, seriously. How was Destin? How was the...
A few days we saw a cloud.
Wow.
Other than
You know
that,
what the good news is up here? A few days we saw a cloud, too.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
It was really nice.
You keep on leaving, and we'll keep enjoying the nice weather, Shark. Because it's been people that have friends that I've met, talked to, come up for the games and stuff. I'm like, dude, if you're telling me last game in October you're going to give me a 65-degree day with limited clouds, followed up with the same thing on Sunday. This week looks pretty good as well. Little bit of rain in the forecast here.
Of course, it's on Halloween.
Hopefully that it'll be earlier in the day, though. At least that's how it looked earlier.
Okay, good.
But we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, it's good to have you back, Shark.
It is great to have you back, Shark.
You know
Bob?
what? And you come back and the Browns give you a win.
How about that?
I said only in the NFL can you start Jameis Winston against the Ravens.
300 yards of passing, over 20 points for the first time all year. Wonder what the problem was up there.
Was it the play caller or the quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. But yeah, they beat the Ravens yesterday. Bengals got smoked at home by the Eagles. I was watching those double barrel going on in the 1 o'clock games. Saturday, obviously, we had Ohio State play, Bob. A lot to be left on the table. I think for want, 21-17, it is a victory, but there's a lot of tentacles, I feel like, coming out of this game.
There's a lot there, Beam.
There is a lot there.
There's going to be a lot for us to talk about this week,
Yeah.
a lot to digest.
Yep.
It was, for a game that you were in control of, it felt like first half, third quarter feeling good, and then it kind of took a inauspicious turn there, and when you went down, all of a sudden, and I'll say this, it was a weird environment in the stadium.
Okay.
It was not...
Were you up in the booth with Paul and Jim?
I was up there some,
Okay.
probably 2/3 of the game. It's up there at the beginning. Watched them go through, a lot of the pregame stuff, and then I was up for most of the first quarter. Came back down for some half, and went back up and watched almost the whole second half. So I was up there for the prime time, if you will, the exciting time, winning time,
It was winning time.
which was good. But at times it didn't feel as good as it may have been otherwise.
Yeah, Mary was in the stands on Saturday, and I said, how was the crowd? She goes, well, it was like a viper pit once Arvell got thrown out for targeting. She goes, then
Dude,
all of a
that was
sudden,
awesome.
She goes, it just came, like the stadium came alive after that.
Yes.
Tried to do our best Texas impression by throwing stuff on the field.
I heard Jim, he's like, look like a half a dozen bottles. I'm like, half a dozen, dude. It was like 30.
Yeah.
And there were people whipping them from middle of the south stands.
Yeah, so I was like, how was the stadium? She goes, other than that, like it was pretty nervy. She
It
goes,
was very nervy. It was
Yeah.
not loud. It was like just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in there where it's felt a little bit like that for some Michigan games at times. It felt very just uncomfortable in general.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about with the Buckeyes for sure and their performance on Saturday. Next up on the road in Happy Valley against Penn State coming up here this Saturday. So we'll get to that coming up here around 6:18 this morning. Bill Bender, the Sporting News, he's going to join us. We'll break down all the weekend of college football with him coming up here around 6:33 this morning. Bobby Mack, radio play-by-play man of your Columbus Blue Jackets. He joins us at 7:20. They do fall to the Preds in overtime in Nashville on Saturday. Quick turnaround. Got Connor McDavid and the Oilers in town tonight at at Nationwide Arena, so he joins us at 7:20. Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Huddle at 7:33. And then Joshua Perry, who I'm guessing is going to be rather fired up, is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour at 8:33. But before we jump into anything else today, it's Monday, the 28th day of October, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Bob, we got lined up for us here on this nice brisk Monday.
October 28th, final Monday of the month, 302nd day of the year, Shark. 64 days remaining in this calendar year.
Crazy.
Before you rack them and stack them. My goodness, going quickly. This date, 1492, Columbus lands in Cuba for the first time, surmising at that time that it was Japan. It was
He
not.
was wrong.
He was wrong.
1492, he sailed the ocean blue.
This is a big weekend. First Monday as an attorney for Michael Bennett.
Yep.
And on this date, 1726, Gulliver Travels is finished up by Jonathan Swift.
It's a huge weekend for
So
him.
I think that's a huge weekend for Gulliver and the travels that he has had. This day, 1886, President Grover Cleveland dedicates the Statue of Liberty. Beam, where did the Statue of Liberty come from?
That was a gift from France, Bob.
Look at that. Shark, over your last 4 years, I feel like
There's nobody who's learned more in the last 4 years than me.
from working with Shark.
Yes, and you.
Well, not so much me. Shark is our history expert. This day, 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis comes to the end. Nikita Khrushchev, Shark's third favorite politician of all time.
He's on the Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely. Behind Gorbachev and Stalin, pulls the missiles out of Cuba. Or was it Marx and Stalin, Shark?
Lenin.
Oh, okay.
Lenin
The
read a
OG.
book on Marx.
Okay. I remember that. They wrote a song about that, didn't they? It's amazing. They called it American Pie, too. This day, 1989, the Oakland Athletics, one of the great franchises in all professional sports, beat the San Francisco Giants 9-6 at Candlestick to win the World Series. Dave Martin is named MVP. And that at that point in time, Shark, was the latest World Series game ever. They said, "Hold my beer, Coach. We're taking this thing
Why?
into November."
Why, Bob?
Well,
Was it
because
so
they had an earthquake. So yeah, I believe we have something about that in '89.
A's trying to sweep, but the Giants have certainly not made life easy for them tonight. That's a ground ball to the right side, speared by Phillips, flips to Eckersley. Yes, he's there in time, and the A's are the world champions. And a very appropriate play on which to end it. Excellent defensive play. They played excellent defensively the entire series. Home runs, speed, pitching, of course. For the first time in 15 seasons, the World Championship goes to Oakland.
My goodness.
Al Michael's so sprightly on that call.
Absolutely. Now a little more surly. This date, 1995. Braves win Game 6, 1-0. Their third World Series title. Tom Glavine, Shark, was named MVP.
McElligott is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s has its world championship.
Thought the Tribe would be lined up to maybe get one in the second half of the decade, Shark.
What's interesting about that, Grissom caught the last out of the World Series. David Justice hit the home run, the solo home run. They won 1-0. 2 years later,
They both played for the
they both
Tribe.
played for the Tribe.
Are they getting paid by other organizations at that time?
No, they were
think
still
so.
good.
Okay.
They were still very good at that point in time. Some holidays observance, or some birthdays rather. Charlie Daniels, born on this date, 19.
Great song.
They got me a little juiced up here on a Monday morning. Lenny Wilkins turning 87. Who was Bodie in on?
Yeah, it was Bodie.
Bodie
on
had no
Friday.
idea who Lenny Wilkins was.
Seriously.
Yeah, I didn't think that he would. He's a big NBA guy
He's in the Hall of Fame twice.
Exa-
Once as a player, once
as a coach. Actually, I think he's actually in as a third time in like the Olympics for like his coaching there. I want to say. I'll have to go back and look.
You're right.
He's
He
a
was assistant coach for Chuck Daly
Yeah.
on the Dream Team.
Learn something new every day, Shark.
Yeah.
That was like a 3-time Hall of Famer. Bodie had no clue. If I would have told him he was Charlie Daniels' guitarist, he would have said, sure, that sounds great.
That sounds right.
Bill Gates turning 69 today.
Nice.
Julia Roberts. How old do you think she is, Beam?
Julia, 50.
Julia.
Like a 55.
Shark, do you know?
I'm going to say it's the big 6-0 today.
No, not quite. 57. Split the difference.
Okay.
It saddens me when I see that because she was always the girl growing up, and now she's getting older, Shark.
What are you doing here?
I'm out.
You're out.
The prison. You remember the day that I went for cigarettes and didn't come back? You must have noticed.
I don't smoke, don't sit.
Now, they tell me that I paid my debt to society.
Funny, I never got a check.
I came here for you. When I get on with my life, I want you with me.
You're a thief and a liar.
I only lied about being a thief. I don't do that anymore.
Steal.
Lie.
I'm with someone now who doesn't have to make that kind of distinction.
No, he's very clear on both.
You know what your problem is?
I only have one.
You've met too many people like you. I'm with Terry now.
Does he make you laugh?
He doesn't make me cry.
It's a great scene.
Does he make you laugh? He doesn't make me cry. What a great...
Hey, Terry Benedict knows everything that goes on in his casino.
No cameras in this room. Terrell Davis, TD, turning 52 years young, the Hall of Fame running back. Brad Paisley, country star, also turning 52. And Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes.
How old do you think he is, Shark?
50?
I was going to go 48.
It's 50.
Wow.
Got up there. Beam nailed it. Joaquin Phoenix from The Gladiator.
And one night he sat down with one of them.
Yes.
And he looked at her.
Oh, man.
And he said, "Tell me what you've been doing. Busy, little bee, or I shall strike down those dearest to you. You shall watch as I bathe in their blood." And the Emperor was heartbroken. The little bee had wounded him more deeply than anyone else could ever have done. And what do you think happened then, Lucius?
I don't know, Uncle.
The little bee told him everything.
Oh, my gosh.
I got goosebumps. I hate him.
That is
I hate his character in that movie. He's so
one
bad.
of the most hateable
So
guys
bad.
you will find. And then he makes out with his sister afterwards.
Yep, he's a strange little bee.
How about this? Jay Sean Tate, Buckeye, turning 29 today with the Rockets. Signed that 3-year, $22 million deal last summer. So super happy for him. Some passings today. Brett Auerbach, the legendary Celtics coach, passing away in 2006. Jerry Lee Lewis, passing away in 2022. And 1 year ago today, we lost Matthew Perry, Mr. Chandler Ball, friends. It is Champagne Day, International Animation Day, National Chocolates Day, St. Jude's Day, Statue of Liberty Dedication Day, and Wild Foods Day. And those are your historical events. Birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances. For this date, October 28th, the final Monday of the month, the 302nd day of the year, 64 days remaining. 2024.
Good job on that, Bob, as always. It was not a pretty day for the Buckeye offense on Saturday. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday. Right now, no crashes to tell you about across your central Ohio roadways. We are watching busy traffic on I-71 near Polaris, also on 33 on the southeast side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
Just how liberal is Sherrod Brown? Take a look at his actual votes. That's what Debbie from the Cleveland area did.
I thought I knew Sherrod Brown. Now I hear he's super liberal, so I went and looked at his votes. Brown voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions. It's horrific. The AMA said it should be banned, but Sherrod voted for it more than once.
In fact, Sherrod Brown voted for partial birth abortion 6 different times.
Partial birth abortion? Allowing trans biological men in girls' locker rooms and girls' sports? Sex change surgery for kids? He seemed like a good guy, but with Brown's voting record, I just can't vote for him.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. When you look at his actual votes, Sherrod Brown is just way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our $99 home preventative maintenance checkup. Carpenter and Bryant will do whatever it takes to get you ready for the fall and winter ahead. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com. That's carpentercolumbus.com.
We had one fella that got hit by lightning, but he prearranged it to try to get that money. The crazy part was, dude, he was in a damn coma, and we were jealous of him, man. We're like, look at this rich mother, dude. Breathing on our tax dollars over here.
From his Netflix special Regular People and hit podcast this past weekend, Theo Von's Return of the Rat Tour, coming to Schottenstein Center November 14th. Tickets on sale now at theovon.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Your small business can save big with the SACA benefit plan. 844-MEDOhio.com. That's 844-MEDOhio.com. Anthem's SACA benefit plan. 844-MEDOhio.com.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown, dumb since day one. The Fan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
You know, Ohio's Supreme Court makes headlines for the wrong reasons. They even ruled it's okay for boneless chicken wings to have bones that can choke kids.
But we can stop their extreme one-party politics by voting for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes for Ohio Supreme Court.
Right. Ohio's newspapers say Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes are the clear choice.
We need an experienced, independent court we can trust. And Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes will judge the Reproductive Freedom Amendment fairly and honestly, protecting our rights, safety, and families.
Ohioans deserve independent justice, transparency, and equal treatment under the law. That's why we really need Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes to provide checks and balances.
Don't stop fighting for your rights, freedoms, and choices. But do remember to vote for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes.
Paid for by Donnelly for Supreme Court, Stewart for Ohio Supreme Court, and Forbes for Justice.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cold this morning with temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Near 70 later today with plenty of sunshine. Partly cloudy tomorrow, much warmer, high of 80. Very warm on Wednesday with a high of 80 as well. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If this show made a scented candle, it would smell like bad coffee, unwashed jockstrap, and grass clippings.
I wasn't sure how you take your coffee.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
So, mouth or enema?
Hey, Buckeyes get a win on Saturday, 21-17. How you feeling about that one?
Oh, well, good to the last drop, Dean.
Yeah, it was good to the last drop. Jordan Hancock sealing the deal.
He did. Yep. That felt pretty good. The Quinshon Judkins touchdown at the end on the option, like, please throw it to him.
Which, by the way,
please throw it to him.
So we're going to talk about Zen Michalski and the day that he had, and also him getting injured. Zen did a good job on that play. Like, if he doesn't, like, if you go back and you rewatch that play,
he doesn't give his leg for the Buckeyes.
Well, I think he did give his leg for the Buckeyes, but he did a really good job on that play, and Will Howard needed every second before Quinshon kind of broke to the left on that option route to get open. Like, he needed that time, And
break being the operative word.
Yeah. And so Zen goes down. Ohio State wins 21-17. Opposite of what we were feeling coming off the Oregon game. It's just the straight opposite.
Yes. More relief probably than anything else.
Yep.
You're up 14-6 though at halftime, right? All right. And missed a field goal or no. So you thought, okay, not a bad situation. Could have been 17-3. They don't get a stop. They go down and score. So a little 6-point swing. But Ohio State had been really good coming out in the second half. And I don't have the numbers on me, but I feel like almost every opening drive in the second half that Ohio State's had the ball, they've gone down and scored.
I think you're right.
Yes. The 3 plays for 7 yards would not qualify that as a scoring drive.
No.
And then Nebraska follows it up with a field goal.
How about the immediate 1-play interception after the 3-and-out?
That is the one that, well, they had a field goal in between.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, so they got points. Now you're up. A touchdown gets you. And that was what was a little troublesome and concerning then, ultimately at that point. And yeah, you have the 1-play interception, not a good read, not a good throw by Will. Probably the worst. I mean, other than that, he really didn't have a bad throw, I felt like, the rest of the game.
He was pretty good on Saturday outside of that little guy.
Yeah, that was not a good one. Thankfully, you step up, and this is what your defense does. Now, you may have been assisted a little bit with a spot on the run on third down. I think he was probably a little closer. They spotted him at the 2. It's probably more like, I don't know, you could see it on TV, but being probably better.
You're talking about Nebraska?
Yeah.
And then Ohio State's goal line stand?
Yes. It looked like it was more on the 1.5 yard line. They spotted him at the 2. And then, is it Cody Simon went up over the top again?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's been the topper. And that, I mean, right there, that play, we can talk about them scoring again later. That play, I think, saved it right there. Because if they score and have that momentum where field goal, it's punt, Nebraska field goal, 1-play interception, and they're on the goal line, and they're going to punch it in to take your heart.
Well, those last 3 sequences were field goal, right on the doorstep. I mean, so right there, you're talking about 13 points within 3 drives.
Panic and passion.
Totally. Now, here's the situation with Ohio State that's the most concerning to me, Bob.
Their lack of offensive linemen?
Yeah, the lack of offensive linemen, that's going to be a big thing. But outside of the touchdown drive that you scored, what you needed to do, that was 8 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes, 45 seconds left off the clock. A very good drive on that one. The second half sequences for Ohio State: 3 plays, 7 yards, 1 play, interception, 3 plays, 8 yards, 3 plays, 8 yards, 8 for 75 and a touchdown, 3 plays, -6 yards, and then the last drive, you're in victory formation, you're taking a knee. But outside of the touchdown drive, you never had one drive in the second half that got over 4 snaps.
Yeah. And part of that was your inability to run the football. And that is probably what you were talking about there. I think the microcosm of that is the fact that they ran it 31 times for 64 yards.
Yeah.
And that was not a great situation. And I was surprised. You know, Will had some scrambles in there and like zone read, but I was surprised because I was right on the 40, 50 where they got stuffed on some of those 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 plays.
1 for 10 on 3rd down.
That's atrocious.
Terrible.
And some of them it wasn't like it was 3rd and 12.
No.
I mean, you're trying to run the ball and invoke your one. I said Nebraska has a good defensive line. I watched them beat up Colorado up front. Now, Indiana, here's a couple things from this. I think the Indiana game was a little bit of fool's gold for Nebraska. From a standpoint of Ohio State fans watching that game thinking Indiana just ran them. They're not any good.
Yeah, but there's a difference to be had in 56-7 victory over Indiana 100%. And then 21-17.
Oh, I'm 100% in that, and I'm not dismissing that at all. I think Nebraska is far more what you saw on Saturday than what they showed against Indiana. If you were to ask me about Nebraska, I would say they're probably about like Vanderbilt. They're probably a team that resides somewhere, as far as how good are they, 20-30 in college football. They lost a close one to Illinois. They get smoked by Indiana. They play Ohio State about as tough as
on their best day, they could be a top 20 team in the nation.
Yeah, and they had a really bad game against Indiana, and it got away from them. And maybe they were thinking that was the same Indiana that they had been playing for years.
Mm-hmm.
It was not. They got ambushed. Dylan Raiola was okay.
He could have been way better.
Could have been way better. Wasn't great. I thought that one of the silver linings is I thought the defense played really well.
13 TFLs, 3 sacks.
I mean, considering the fact that in Dylan Raiola, his ability to scramble, everybody wants to blitz until you blitz and then you don't get there and there's a seam that opens up and then Dylan Raiola
Free runner.
And Dylan Raiola is not even very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be, if you put him in this room, the second fastest guy, but I don't know if I would even give him that. He might be the third.
Who's the slowest, me or Shark?
That's we'll have to get a line out here. We'll see who's getting eaten.
Race in the parking lot after the show today. I was going to say the game, but it's a show technically.
But yeah, I mean, he had that 38-yard ride. I mean, that was crazy. He had another decent one too. He's had some scrambles on third downs. So, I mean, there's plenty there to work on, but the inability to run the football is concerning. I mean, you could go line up and try to throw it a lot. I was surprised though. Going back to my original point, that on some of the third and fourth and shorts, everybody wants, the zone read stuff. But one of the things that Urban used to do a lot with JT Barrett was just run quarterback power. And they never lined up and tried to run that once. You've got a quarterback in Will Howard that's 240 pounds.
Well, one time you got under center on third down, or was it fourth down?
Fourth down, you
ran the QB sneak, you got like 8 yards.
Well, you got like 6, and they gave you 3.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly that worked.
I'm not sure either.
Like, they spotted him back there, and he's like looking and arguing. I'm like, all right, we got the first down. But I'm like, they did rob you out of 3 yards right there, which was, I mean, that could have been significant at some point.
Absolutely, it could have. Yeah, with the offensive line, I mean, that's the big problem right now. From where you were at a couple of weeks ago, Josh Simmons goes down, Zen Mahalski comes into the game, bad game, then he gets hurt, and then I think it was only one snap, right? But Donovan Jackson was playing left tackle, and then you had Luke Montgomery coming in to play left guard.
Yeah,
and Tegra wasn't great on Saturday either.
No, some of the runs were right behind him on those short yardage plays, and there was. To say there wasn't any movement being was an understatement.
Yeah, so they've got some things to do. And I watched a lot of that Penn State game on Saturday night against Wisconsin, and the offense is going to be Penn State's offense. We'll see what happens through the week because Drew Aller went down. One of their big edge rushers went down in the game, so we'll see the availability of those guys. Their defense is nasty.
They're good.
They got a nasty defense over there.
They've got a really good defense. And so we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a raucous environment too. Now, thankfully, it's not going to be at night.
Yeah.
And they were just at Camp Randall at night, which I always tell people, when we played, when I was in school, the Camp Randall was the second best place to play in the Big Ten. And that was a pretty good game. You're talking 10-3 at halftime. Wisconsin is winning. Now Penn State gets it done and pulls away in the fourth. But that was a game. And we'll see ultimately what Penn State is able to do. But they were in a game. Ohio State was in a game. They're both, I mean, there's a lot there to digest. We're going to have all week to do it, too, B.
Yes, we are going to have all week to do it. For now, Bill Bender, the Sporting News, he's going to join us. We'll break down the weekend of college ball with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, no major crashes that we're watching across your central Ohio roadways. Seeing busy traffic on 33 out in Plain City and on I-71 as you make your way into downtown. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.90% APR with a Visa Platinum credit card from BMI FCU. BMIFCU.org/Visa.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Remember that day I invented the everything bagel? That was a heck of a day, Jerry. I was right there in line.
Get Eco.
I saw the onion bagel and the poppy seed bagel and the sesame bagel, and I thought, imagine if one bagel could give you everything you need. You changed the world that day, Jerry.
Get Eco.
I think Eco is just like that for homeowners in Ohio. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. One company, one call, everything you need.
Get Eco.
Eco is a complete ecosystem of home services all under one roof.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Big things, small things, projects that require a little of this and that. Eco has the whole ecosystem equally covered.
Get Eco.
What if one day someone comes up with a new thing you can put on a bagel?
Well, I've already patented everything, Aaron. Nobody can claim everything plus one.
You're a wise man, Jerry.
I'm making a fortune, Aaron.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
How big of a Jackets fan are you? Like, scary big? Prove it. Show us you're the biggest CBJ fan and you could win tickets to the Stadium Series at the Horseshoe. Head to 971thefan.com now through November 3rd at 11:59 p.m. to enter. Do it.
Football is all about winning, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 dealerships and a collision center, we've got everything you need to stay game day ready. Don't forget our Carvenience service, the most convenient way to service your vehicle. We pick it up, drop off a rental, and we bring it back to you when it's done. Plus, every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Hinderer Motor Company, where convenience and confidence meet. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
So I asked the local Pella Columbus team, we're doing these ads for you. What should I tell the people? Hey, it's Bobby, and I expected them to talk about how awesome the Pella windows are and quality and looks and all that. But their first response was actually, we just want people to know how buttoned up we are. The windows, they sell themselves, but we want people to know there's a local Pella Columbus team here in town that's all in on making the process as perfect as the windows. And if you Google Pella Columbus, you'll see the reviews that prove all of it. So now you know Pella Columbus.
Shop Meijer this week for monster deals and spooky savings. Save on bulk Fuji or Gala apples, just 99 cents a pound. From creepy to just plain silly, our huge selection of Halloween costumes for the entire family are now 25% off. You'll be the favorite house on the block when you hand out Halloween snack or jumbo-sized candy. Buy 2 bags, get 1 free. And Halloween tree pails are only $1 each. Shop these frighteningly good deals and more in-store or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Bobby played football for Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. Beamer played football for a drunk named Joe who worked at the gas station. You're listening to Morning Juice.
You can cap off NFL week number 8 with a chance to win on FanDuel. That's America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins on tonight's game. What's the Monday Night Football game of the week? Well, it's the New York Giants at the home of Mr. Unlimited, the Pittsburgh Steelers. What about a Russell Wilson over for passing touchdowns? See what he's got going on. Maybe a Malik Neighbors, Najee Harris, the under in that game. I know Pittsburgh's offense was hot last week, but I don't know if I love it tonight.
Maybe get George Pickens cooking. There a little bit with an over yards beam. Who knows? Just visit FanDuel.com/use to make every moment more this season. FanDuel official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in present Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, checking with our good friend of the Sporting News. He is Bill Bender. Bill, thanks for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Bob and I talking a lot about the Buckeyes here in our first half hour of the program. Just your reaction to the 21-17 victory for Ohio State against Nebraska on Saturday.
Tale of two halves. Will Howard didn't miss in the first half, and then didn't have first down in the third quarter. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have talked about the offensive line, but there have been some injuries there, and improvement will be needed. But defense bounced back and played well. I think call's tough for me, Brandon, because it was if you're the ref, but it's one of those calls that I just hate in the game at that point in time.
Yeah, it's I think you and everybody else, and now with given Texas and what happened, people felt the need to throw projectiles then onto the field to continue to get that rolling. I mean, obviously, huge game this week coming up with Penn State. They looked much better in the fourth quarter and second half than they did in the first, but level of concern for Ohio State traveling to Happy Valley after watching this performance on Saturday.
I mean, you're always concerned when you go out there. Urban Meyer called it the toughest place to play. He hated it. I've seen that clip a million times and heard him talk about that. So you do have to bring your A game, whether it's noon or whiteout or whenever. It's one of the toughest places to play in the country. Now, I'll be watching, Bobby, over the next few days, Drew Aller's status. He left the Wisconsin game with a knee injury. That changes the entire way that Penn State would try to attack Ohio State in a lot of ways, because Bo Pribula, he is an experienced backup. He's played a lot of football, but he's more kind of a running quarterback. He had averaging 6 yards a carry for his career, played well in Aller's place at Wisconsin, helped them come back from a halftime deficit.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And Penn State went on the road and they got it done at Camp Randall against Wisconsin, and now they move on to a massive game this week between the Nittany Lions and the Buckeyes. Bill, staying on Ohio State real quick, though, for you, now, when we talked about the Oregon game and we addressed it and said, are these problems fixable? And I think for the most part, a lot of Ohio State fans said, yeah, they were fixable. I mean, 500 yards of offense, get some tweaks on the defensive side, and then you're going to be good to go. Like you had mentioned, defense was much better on Saturday. Are these offensive line problems fixable right now currently for Ohio State?
They may have to shuffle some guys around with these injuries. I mean, when Simmons goes down for the injury, there's nothing you can coach for that. That's just a horrible blow. I do think you need the running game in November, though. That's when Big Ten championships are won. The running game had been dominant up until the Oregon game, and they need to keep Judkins and Henderson going. When they're averaging between 4.5 and 5 yards per carry, that offense is unstoppable. But I do want to give Will Howard a lot of credit. Nebraska takes the lead. He takes them right back down the field. He had a great game, and he took a lot of criticism after Oregon. I thought he had a great game against Nebraska on Saturday.
A lot of things going on around the college football landscape, Bill, in general. Outside of the Ohio State game, we talked a little bit that Penn State-Wisconsin matchup and obviously what happened there with Drew Aller going down. Any other big notes coming out of the weekend, or what other games are you focused on the most?
Texas A&M looked good in the second half when they went to Marcel Reed. Losing by 10 points at halftime to LSU. They put in Reed. He rushes for 3 touchdowns. They have 2 other running backs averaging over 5 yards per carry. They are still undefeated in the SEC with the one loss to Notre Dame outside of conference play. So they're a team to keep an eye on. In our latest playoff projections in Sporting News, that's who we have. We have Ohio State playing Texas A&M in the first round. Now that can change if Ohio State wins the Big Ten, obviously, but I mean, they're a team whose stock went up big time over the weekend.
What do you make of Texas right now, Bill? Another close one against Vanderbilt, coming off the loss against Georgia a couple of weeks ago.
I think the casual college football fan is so focused on trying to create a controversy between Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning that they're not looking at Texas's other problems right now. Like I keep telling my editor and people I work with, Quinn's the guy. They're not going to bench him outside of maybe like a Jalen Tua in-game moment in the playoff. Could happen, I suppose. how about 107 yards in penalties? That's probably why that got close against Vanderbilt. Anytime you have over 100 yards in penalties, you're going to have problems.
Absolutely. Any chance Miami doesn't go undefeated this year?
I guess this week is the game. They play Pitt, but this week against Louisville could be interesting. I'll be breaking that game down this morning. The Cardinals have 3 losses, but they have 3 one-score losses. And Miami, this week, Cam Ward doesn't throw a touchdown pass. He catches one, but the big key for them was they didn't turn the ball over. I think the ACC still has a better chance of getting it. Well, maybe. If Clemson and Miami stay undefeated, they would have a chance to have 2 playoff berths, whereas the Big 12 has 2 undefeated teams. But I don't know if BYU and Iowa State will both be able to stay undefeated, and Kansas State sitting behind them.
Bill, I was watching a lot of the Indiana-Washington game as well. Hoosiers, I mean, with all the talk about Curtis Rourke being out, and this could possibly be the game that ends up getting them. Close game, but all in all, I think it was a really good performance from Indiana as they have their best start in school history at 8-0.
Yeah, especially without the quarterback, and that's coaching. And I just saw something scrolling through the phone this morning. Kurt Signetti, first coach to start 8-0 at 2 different schools in 2 different years. And I think that's an underrated part of the story is James Madison, he brought 13 of those guys with him. And they started 10-0 last year before they lost the game. So we'll see what they've learned from that experience. They've got to beat 2 Michigan schools the next 2 weeks. I mean, it's still Michigan State's an improved team, and then the Michigan game will be high profile for them because of the lack of success they've had against the Wolverines over the years.
And then it's a big brother, little brother game, Michigan State over the weekend. Got a little chippy at the end, as I guess we would have surely expected it to.
It looked like Colston Loveland threw a headbutt, got thrown on the ground, and then those 2 fan bases are going to spend all day today, just a warning, probably pointing fingers, and that's going to happen. But as far as in the game, Michigan's still juggling the quarterbacks around, but they found a couple plays on the running game when they used Alex Orji as kind of a role player. Ugly game. Wolverines get the Ducks this week, and the last time Oregon came into the Big House, this is how old I'm getting, Dennis Dixon ran all over them in a 39-7 victory.
Wow. All right. Putting it in the Wayback Machine. Bill, always appreciate the time. How you feeling about the Malik Willis experience up in Green Bay?
He just made plays in the clutch, and not to rub it in, Beam, but my daughter and I were kind of, I couldn't believe that Hail Mary. I do apologize for that. I'm not trying to bring it up, but the Bears are definitely a better team. That was just an unfortunate bounce.
The Bears are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were, Bill. Always appreciate the time, buddy. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy trick-or-treat and Halloween on Thursday, and we'll check in again next Monday, all right?
Yeah, we got to get the kids some costumes. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
There he goes. Bill Bender, Sporting News with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Speaking of that game, we had some Hail Mary fun for most of you yesterday in the NFL. That and Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Right now we're watching a crash on I-71 southbound. Expect lane closures in those southbound lanes just past Hudson Street as crews work to clear up a crash. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan traffic.
At Custom Air, integrity is key. That's why there are no high-pressure sales tactics, just a commitment for friendly and professional service. That's the way they do things. It's the Custom Air way.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
They just busted a man in our town with a 30-pound bag of hamster bones on him. And my buddy's like, what'd they charge him with? I'm like, with working for Satan, brother. The dude had 30 pounds of hamster bones. The ivory of Arkansas.
From his Netflix special Regular People and hit podcast this past weekend, Theo Von's Return of the Rat Tour, coming to Schottenstein Center November 14th. Tickets on sale now at theovon.com.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
At Diamond Cellar, we've been crafting love stories for over 77 years. Trust, quality, and always the guaranteed best price. Visit us today to experience the Diamond Cellar difference. Stop into our showroom on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money, Wednesday night at 8.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When I wake up, the best mornings in the morning light start with Wrangler. Pull on my jeans and I feel all right. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot. I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. Good mornings make for better days. I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Can't be home for the game?
Caught for the touchdown!
NFL Plus has you covered with live, local, and primetime games on the go.
What a game he's had.
On your mobile device, you can access live, local Sunday afternoon games and all the primetime action from Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and Monday Night Football.
Tonight was definitely their night.
Sign up for NFL Plus today at plus.nfl.com/radio. Subscription required for NFL Plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, plenty of sunshine, high 69. Tonight, clear, low 54. And then near record warmth tomorrow. Look at this. Sunny on your Tuesday with a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Just a couple of dudes being guys.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
Yeah, we here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sharky.
Yes, sir.
It is great to have you back.
Oh, Beam, it's so good to be back.
You don't need to lie.
Smiling face.
You don't need to lie.
All right, then, I won't. When you have a losing record at the end of October in the NFL, there's always speculation about who may be on the trading block. The name of Raiders Pro Bowl defensive end Max Crosby has come up, especially after Vegas recently dealt receiver Devontae Adams. But alas, it is only speculation. The Raiders are 2-5, Beam, but owner Mark Davis told ESPN they are not trading Max Crosby. That's 2 X's, by the way.
Yeah, that's a great spelling of a name. You look at both sides of this coin, to trade or not to trade Max Crosby. That is the question. You would get a lot back for him on the trade market, right? Open trade market. Guy is in the middle of what looks to be an incredible NFL career and is one of the best pass rushers on his day in the NFL. On the flip side of that, Bob, I mean, the Vegas Raiders, since they have made the move, and even in their last couple of years of iteration when they were in Oakland, they haven't had any leadership over there. And I feel like Max Crosby, he came out, he said, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be with the Raiders. Mark Davis coming out saying we're not trading Max Crosby. Sure, could that be a ploy to maybe bolster up the numbers in trade return? Yeah, it could be. But you start flirting with a guy like that who has given nothing but great things to that organization and is a great locker room guy. And I think is exactly what the Raiders want their football team to be, then you're sending mixed messages by getting rid of a guy like that in your locker room. And I don't know if the Raiders can afford to get rid of a guy, because a guy like that's how you build culture within an organization that's sustainable for years than after.
It's something that we've seen happen here with the Blue Jackets, where you trade off guys because you're not ultimately ready to win yet. But in doing that, you get so young that then you become a rudderless ship. And so you need to have talent to be able to have success and to get that done. But you need to have leadership to be able to direct that talent. Max Crosby is that guy. I can understand if they traded him and getting value back, but you have to make sure you have a strong locker room. I mean, they would know that better than anyone else. Looking at it from the outside, Antonio Pierce, former player, would have a feel for it.
Yep. And
Max Crosby is that guy. He is his story, and I did a couple of his games at Eastern Michigan when he was coming out. Great guy, great story, and you've watched him have a lot of success. He wants to be there, so you need a guy like that in your locker room.
This was kind of an odd scenario yesterday in Houston. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson wasn't on the field for a play late in the third quarter. Did he suffer another injury? Was he in the tent being checked out? No, and no. Richardson was on the sideline not because he was hurt, but because he was exhausted. He had scrambled the previous 2 plays.
Is that real?
And, after the game, he told reporters, I ain't going to lie, I was tired. Well, Bob, I'll give him credit.
The helmet
he could have made up a lie.
The helmet tap for a quarterback?
Zapped out.
I mean, they probably looked over dude, you've got the helmet communication in here. What do you mean helmet tap? Dude, just chill for a second.
Like how Shane Steichen as their head coach. I was third and long anyways. We were going to run the ball. It's you're probably going to bat for your guy there. Tap it out as a QB because you're tired. The
quarterback runs less than anyone else. Those guys stand back there. They're not even allowed to get hit. That, honestly, that's embarrassing because that means he's not doing any type of conditioning. A lot of times you have your quarterbacks run because in practice they just don't do enough. As far as running, if you're a guy that can run like Anthony Richardson, you got to be out there and be in shape.
I saw that.
It's your job.
I saw that last night. I'm like, I was watching on the quad box. I had the Browns going. I had the Bengals going. I had that game going, and then I forget which.
I don't mean to sound like old guy get off my lawn, but that's embarrassing. It's your job to be able to play.
He needed a breather. He ran 3 times in a row, and it was his third and long, so we were going to hand the ball off. You coming out of the game if that's a playoff game? I don't know, man. That's one of the weirder scenarios that I don't rarely see a quarterback giving the old.
Breather.
Giving me the breathing treatment right there.
Beam, this is another really odd scenario.
Yeah, why don't you list it out for us?
I am not gonna play any highlights. I'm not gonna play any Dan.
But the people, why?
Audio.
Do we have any?
I like you.
Yeah, but the people want to hear it. It was fun and drama, Shark.
I don't want you to get depressed on a Reaction Monday.
Play the sound.
The Bears trailed nearly the entire game. It took their only lead 59 minutes and 35 seconds in.
We're going to win.
Chicago was going to pull this thing out, despite the fact that they had been outplayed the whole game. I mean, they had been outgained by 150 yards. There was no way they're going to win this thing, and then they were. And
then they weren't.
Yeah, 25 seconds left. We had an ill-advised kickoff return out to the 24-yard line, which took the clock down to 19 seconds. an incomplete pass took it down to 12 seconds. 2 completions for 24 yards got us to the 48-yard line. And then Jaden Daniels scrambled for like 8 seconds and finally launched a Hail Mary from his own 35. It didn't quite reach the end zone, but there were about 8 hands that reached up in the air, and that ball bounced up into the hands, the waiting hands of the only man standing in the end zone, Noah Brown.
Buckeye.
Easiest touchdown catch he'll ever have, despite a Hail Mary. Beamer's least favorite words today, Hail and Mary.
Yeah, it was, not going to lie to everybody out there, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. So Willie was getting ready for bed. He was just taking a bath. He came out, like had his nighttime diaper on and everything, and the Bears scored a touchdown. I'm like sitting with him, and Mary goes, okay, let's get him into his pajamas. I'm like, there's 20 seconds left to go in the game. Let the boy watch.
Then she'll say that 20 seconds is actually 5 minutes.
And it wasn't. It was actually pretty quick because Washington only had the one timeout. So, I mean, it was maybe 3 minutes of actual time and 20 seconds of game time. So the ball was in the air. I'm like, that's there. That's there. That's there. And then did the immediate surrender cobra slink in my chair, got all the way down. Willie's on the ground, and he's just looking at me. Dad, Dad? Dad, Dad? Dad, Dad? And I said, all right, let's go to bed. Immediately turned the TV off. Went to bed, didn't say a word for about an hour, and then I saw the video of Tyreek Stevenson hyping up the crowd, not realizing the play was going on behind him. I'm like, that's going to be a tough film session for you. And I don't know whose man Noah Brown was, but it sure looked to be on the All-22 film that's Tyreek Stevenson's guy. Yeah, that was a tough one, not going to lie.
So here's how you handle it. You have your short tip, and then you got your long tip, Shark.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever one you want to have.
The short tippers were covered.
And then you have your scrum in the middle. But you have a defender on each side, and usually you have a offensive guy, they'll tell you. So you have like 3 or 4 guys down there, and they try to go one way or the other. But you always have a body on them, and you're boxing them out. Our guy, Mr. 31 there, decided to run on in with everybody else, abdicating his responsibility.
Saboteur.
He was a saboteur. Your coach is a defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you go over that every week. You don't do their job. They do their job. You do your job. He chose another path.
Fun and drama. Good till the last drop. The Browns accomplished what every single person was expecting them to accomplish yesterday. We'll get into that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Still watching a crash on I-71 southbound just past Hudson Street. We've got lane closures in place as crews work to clear this up. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
Ben Sattler, Assistant Vice President, Commercial Lending, on what makes First Bank of Central Ohio successful.
What we do as a community bank is really, listening to, that company, finding the solutions that best need their business and is not just a universal product that you could get anywhere else.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If your fall is anything like the people in my neighborhood, your weekends are full of driving kids to endless soccer things. So if you're going to be on the road, be as comfortable as possible. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend a new Lexus. That's not true, but I recommend it. Deal time, 2.99% finance rate on a 2024 RX. That's madness. 4.49% finance rate for a 2025 NX. And you can get up to $5,000 lease cash for a 2024 RX. Check them out online, GermainLexus.com.
Active military or veteran planning your next career move? Start at Columbus State Community College. When companies like Intel need to fill thousands of new jobs in Central Ohio, they hire Columbus State graduates. Our engineering technology programs equip you with skills and experience to launch a high-tech career in Columbus's fast-growing fields. And our veteran services team will help you maximize your benefits and connect to a supportive campus community. Take the first step. Apply at cscc.edu/engineering-tech.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that. with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants you to breathe out your oil change-anxiety. And breathe in automotive peace. Visit us today.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. The Blue Jackets are 3-3-1. The Oilers 4-4-1. Tonight, Edmonton visits Columbus. Face-off 7 o'clock here on The Fan. The new AP College football poll is out, and Oregon received 61 of 62 first-place votes to keep the top spot. Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, and Miami round out the top 5. After back-to-back road wins against the Giants and Browns, the Bengals returned home and suffered a 37-17 loss against Philadelphia. Cincinnati managed just 58 rushing yards 1 week after gaining just 59 on the ground against Cleveland. In Cleveland, the Browns stunned the Ravens 29-24. Jameis Winston made his first NFL start in more than 2 years and completed 27 of 41 passes for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Sports Center is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.9% APR with a Visa credit card from BMI. Apply at bmifcu.org/Visa.
What's the point of watching football all weekend if you can't overanalyze it?
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. If you can find a show that's closer to Buckeye football, it would be hosted by Ryan Day. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour 2 of the program for us on Monday, Reaction Monday. Coming up here 7:20 this morning. Jackets go down over the weekend and overtime to the Preds. Bobby Mack, radio play-by-play voice here, Columbus Blue Jackets. He's going to join us at 7:20 this morning. Tony Gerdeman coming up here at 7:33 to talk all things Buckeye. So busy 7 o'clock hour here for us.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Jackets entertaining the Oilers tonight at Nationwide Arena. Little Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week for the Jackets is what you got.
Yeah, every other day, a little routine, little pattern.
Yep.
Been playing about 500 ball all season. Let's see if we can get back in the win column here and get it rolling.
Absolutely, man. Home against the Oilers tonight. They were one period away from closing out a Stanley Cup last year against the Panthers, but ultimately fell short. Sharkey illustrated a nice 4-4-1 for the Oilers coming in to Nationwide Arena. Buckeyes 21, Nebraska 17 at Penn State coming up here Saturday at noon. Favored by 3.5 points are the Buckeyes.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is. I know it is interesting.
They're a 3.5 point road favorite.
I'd be interested to see because that number.
Told me it was a pick'em. I wouldn't have been surprised
at all if not Penn State being a. Yeah, I guess pick'em. I guess being a pick'em is about right.
Usually your home team gets 3 points for that. And you said, okay, Ohio State's a field goal better, maybe a half. Maybe Ohio State gets a half-point line. I don't know. I mean, is that worth anything?
Be interested to see how that number moves throughout the week.
Well, the betting lines, it's like stocks, Beam. All the information at the present time is supposed to be included.
Yeah.
So whatever is out there and known about Drew Aller apparently is probably built into that line. So we'll see, like you said, how that moves.
Yeah, for sure. They also lost another D-end. Looked to be like a groin injury or something coming off the weekend for Penn State. So a couple of injury news pieces to watch as we get through the remainder of the week. Buckeyes having a pretty significant injury on Saturday, too. Zen Michalski filling in for Josh Simmons. He goes down. Can't put pressure on his leg. So I was watching. I don't know exactly what leg it is, Bob.
It was his left.
Then he was taken by the cart back to the locker room. So it doesn't seem to be good. Ohio State remedied that situation, or were trying to, by actually moving Donovan Jackson to left tackle and putting Luke Montgomery in at left guard. So now it's going to be shuffle time for this offensive line.
And it stinks. Anytime you sustain multiple injuries at one position like that, that tests your depth. And that left tackle was really good with Josh Simmons. Zen came in, was doing an admirable job, and you're hoping, I was hoping the goal was he would be a lot better by the end of November, early December than what he was. And playing time will give you that experience and give you that opportunity to improve. And then he goes down in his first start. I feel for the kid, young man. He's done everything the right way. This was going to be a great opportunity for him. But my goodness, now they've got to move a lot. And I don't even know if what we saw in the game is going to be their final solution.
Yeah.
That may have been the best solution they had then. And then they look back and it's okay, do we really want to kick Donovan Jackson out and put Luke Montgomery guard? Maybe they want Donovan to stay at guard. Maybe they could try to work Luke at tackle. Luke has played tackle before. Maybe there's other folks in there that they're trying to figure out and trying to get involved. I mean, is it worth exploring Isaiah Fryer? I don't know, or Josh Fryer. I mean, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's what I guarantee you they were working on all day yesterday. And then I'm pretty certain that they probably have a plan in place by today, so they can communicate that to those guys. But that is why you get paid the big bucks to solve those problems.
Yeah, that's bumpy. I thought this was pretty interesting from Ryan Day in his post-game press conference before, obviously, Zen Michalski goes down with the injury, about letting him play through his struggles.
Felt like for his first start, he had to play through it. Didn't want to, panic and just pull him out because, it's your first start. So there's some things you're going through, whether it's, first-time jitters or whatever it might be. You're pressing and you're trying to get your feet underneath you. So we wanted him to play through that and see how that went.
Yeah, and he did. And he didn't play particularly great. And then I will give Zen credit, though, because on that last touchdown pass and the drive to take the eventual lead, 21-17, in favor of Ohio State at that time, the touchdown pass to Quinshon Judkins, Zen did exactly what he was asked.
Yeah.
I mean, he just got in front of his guy. He kind of sustained that pressure a little bit.
When did he get hurt? The next play?
The next series. He would have been the next series, yeah.
Yeah, so that was tough and devastating right there during that point in time in the game. Ohio State had just taken the lead. You would like to have seen them able to salt that game away a little better, Beam. Now, Jordan Hancock does get it done for you on the Dylan Rail overthrow, takes advantage of that, and you are able to knee it out. But, I mean, until Jordan had that interception, I was not feeling great, even though the defense had played pretty well all day.
Yeah, they did, and that place was kind of hornet's nest at that point in time, I felt like. Didn't you?
There was some juice going then, but at the beginning, it was a weird element. Bo always says this, and it's true. He calls it nervy. He goes, the stadium gets nervy because everybody's used to watching them come out there and just dominate, roll down the field. And so there's not as much fan engagement as you would usually believe. And it started happening then after that point on third downs and fourth downs getting loud. But before that, it really wasn't the case. Now, some of that's to play on the field, and I always tell players, get the stadium involved. That's one of the big assets you have at Ohio State, but you got to call upon it.
When the crowd won your freedom.
That's 100% accurate.
If you don't ask for it, Bob, you never know that you're going to get it, right?
wasn't the best because I killed the fastest.
Oh man, they got a lot to deal with this week. It was a win. It was a win. They got a lot to do going to Penn State Saturday at noon. How about you?
Find out. This was the one that everybody, wanted to see, and you'll know. You're like, and then if they win, it's like, are they that good? I don't know. They've got a 3 beside their name. What do you want them to do?
I'm worried about Indiana.
Well, there's plenty there to keep you busy.
Yeah, there is, man. They look awesome. Bengals yesterday, they go down 37-17 by the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think just encapsulating the Bengals' performance yesterday, no one's at home this season. Didn't make any
I can't watch your boy anymore just hyping the crowd.
Oh, yeah, Tyreek Stevenson, the Bears defender. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough last night.
I'm sorry. Just watching that video of him back to the play on the field.
The ball is snapped. There's receivers running down the field, and he is taunting the Washington crowd.
Yep. I've played a lot of plays in my life, and I'll engage. Now, usually it's with your home fans. I'm not big on talking trash to other people, but usually it's your home fans. But I've never once the play has started, had my back to the football intentionally. There are times where I may have been turned around talking to my own player, like to safety about what the coverage is, trying to get stuff from the sideline. But like you can see, it's like snap.
Bob, you can see Bears fans in the front row like pointing adamantly, like ball is snapped.
Game is going on, big dog.
Like last play of the game, whip your head around. Yeah, so that was fun last night.
Sorry,
that's okay.
Can't.
Bengals in their offensive line, their interior offensive line is bad, and their defense is struggling. Like, got ran out of home again.
Yeah. The Browns won, though.
Shark, just as everyone expected yesterday with your Cleveland Browns. Jameis, 27-41, 334 yards,
Eating
3
dubs.
touchdowns. First time the team has gotten over 20 points this year. I mean, Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy all looked like completely different players than what they had looked in the last iteration. Defense did look good.
I mean, those guys were batting down balls.
Derrick Henry to 73 yards.
And they were like batting down balls. And every pass that was caught was contested, and they had to earn.
Yeah. Just as you expected, Shark.
You expected it, didn't you?
I took the Browns.
I think you took the Browns. Get 9.5.
Oh, yeah, it was one of the biggest spreads of the weekend.
You weren't picking an upset.
Oh, straight up? Nobody's taking that.
Yeah, nobody was taking the Browns yesterday. Compare that to what the Ravens had been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they looked like the best team in the NFL.
They did. They did look like the best team in the NFL.
The Browns have been trying to challenge the Jags and Panthers for top draft supremacy.
Challenge the Klingons for interstellar glory.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, it was a whole different football team. Literally an entirely different football team that you saw yesterday.
You know, I want to go back to our last segment.
Okay.
When you were praising your wife for
leaving me alone,
for not saying anything.
Yeah.
After the Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I remember 2 years ago when Joe Flacco was playing for the Jets.
Oh, jeez.
The Browns.
Oh, no, not that game.
Oh, the onside kick game?
They had a 99.9% chance of winning up two scores.
Better chance for winning at that point, the Jets or the Commanders yesterday.
The Ravens, that they were going to get the Hail Mary touchdown at the end.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Believe me, when there was 3 seconds left, I'm like, please don't do this to him.
And then the Ravens receivers ran into each other.
That's not the worst thing. They still have one more shot to throw into the end zone. I'm like, Lamar's going to run around back there for like 30 seconds.
Houdini.
Yeah.
And then he's going to find somebody.
Because they were putting pressure on him, and he just kept escaping. But I remember 2 years ago when the Jets scored 2.
Yeah.
Was it 2 touchdowns in the final minute?
Yes.
And my wife said to me afterwards.
Is this what timetable is this afterwards? Like immediately afterwards?
This is maybe 5 minutes later.
Okay.
I mean, we had a chance to let the whole thing sink in, and she said, I'll give you credit. You handled that really well.
You handled that like a professional.
Said, I'm still in shock. I don't know how they lost that game.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
It was impossible to lose that game. So good for Jan and good for Mayor for leaving us alone in critical times when we could have exploded and said something stupid to our wives.
I was saying something, multiple stupid things inside my own head.
Oh, yeah. You're replaying this and thinking, how in the heck did that happen? Anyway, I feel for you, Beam. But it was a great Browns victory yesterday. It was, so what? They're 2-6. They're not going anywhere. But for one day.
Don't say that.
Beam.
Chargers at home this week.
Where there's life, there's hope. We are we are not mathematically eliminated.
You're third in the division.
But go to FanDuel and see what the odds are of the Browns making the playoffs. It's probably about, I was going to say 100 to 1.
No, it can't.
Maybe
it's not that high.
Maybe like 60 to 1.
They don't even have the odds for the Browns right now. Bengals plus 118 to still make the playoffs, minus 144 for no. That's a shockingly low number.
What was the number we were talking about before the season? Purdue and Indiana both making the college
it was
football playoff.
$10. A $10 bet would get you like 120,000.
I mean,
crazy.
Well, obviously Purdue's not getting in, but boy, if you'd have put money on Indiana,
I think Indiana to get into the playoff was 100 to 1. Yeah, 100 to 1 odds, and now I don't know what they're down to now just to make a college football playoff appearance, but they are way down from that. Absolutely way down from that.
I mean, I was just doing a little bit of research on Gladiator because I think it's going to be pretty good.
Indiana's 1-1 right now.
What?
Plus 100.
Because all they've got to do is, even if they lose to Ohio State, if they beat Michigan, they're beating Purdue. Like, they've got a really good beating Washington was the big hurdle.
Yeah.
I think they have Michigan State coming up, maybe.
Yep. And then Michigan, and then bye week, and then Ohio State.
Oh, they get a bye.
They get a bye before the Ohio State game.
Every year, this is no joke. I literally was talking to a friend of mine who's a trainer at Ohio State, who's been here for a long time. And he said, he goes, because usually Ohio State, like, it seemed like Michigan always played Purdue or someone like that beforehand. And a couple years there, Ohio State says, like, had Michigan State or Wisconsin. Like, they give us that game before Michigan. And they're like, you know what? At least we got Indiana this year.
Indiana at home. At home.
That was the comment. And I'm like, of course. The 1 year you get the layup.
A belly full of white dog crap. Now you want to lay this on me?
That's basically what it is.
Jackets get a point on the board in Nashville. Got the Oilers in town tonight. Bob McElligott's going to join us next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We're watching a couple crashes. The first on I-71 southbound just past Hudson Street. Expect delays because of a crash. Also on I-71, but going northbound, we're watching a crash just past Morse Road. And on the east side, I-270 northbound slow moving just past 33 because of a crash blocking the left lane. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Green & Sons. Family owned and operated for over 45 years. Green & Sons will help you find your next Kubota tractor. Located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville. And online at greenandsons.com.
Looking for a trusted heating and cooling company? James Laurinaitis here for Custom Air. When I come home from a football game, I know that I'm walking into comfort. That's because Custom Air is on my team. When Custom Air does my semi-annual maintenance checkup, I trust them to spot any issues early on, so it'll save me money down the road. Don't let your HVAC call for a timeout this season. Tackle fall and winter like a pro. Go to customairco.com and schedule your maintenance today. Custom solutions, custom comfort. Custom Air.
This report is sponsored by AAA Car Care Plus. Tires worn down from all the summer driving? Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus between August 1st and August 31st and save up to $180 on select sets of 4 Veretta Stein tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community, except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station, except Bo. The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If your fall is anything like the people in my neighborhood, your weekends are full of driving kids to endless soccer things. So if you're going to be on the road, be as comfortable as possible. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend a new Lexus. That's not true, but I recommend it. Deal time, 2.99% finance rate on a 2024 RX. That's madness. 4.49% finance rate for a 2025 NX. And you can get up to $5,000 lease cash for a 2024 RX. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cold this morning with temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Near 70 later today with plenty of sunshine. Partly cloudy tomorrow, much warmer, high of 80. Very warm on Wednesday with a high of 80 as well. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hash browns and smackdowns. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Jackets go down over the weekend in Nashville. Got the Oilers in town tonight.
Morning Juice presents Talking Jackets.
Now it's Boone Jenner along the end boards, and he stuffs it behind Peter Mrazek for the score.
Sponsored by Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
As we head up to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, checking with our great friend, radio play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bob McElligott. Bobby Mack, thanks so much for the time. Always appreciate it. Jackets 3-3-1 to start out here the young season. Do you feel like this team's playing different, Bob? I know I asked you that last week, kind of the same question, but it does feel like they're skating a little bit better and they have some pop to them. Thanks for the time as always, Bobby.
Yeah, when you asked me last week, they'd just come off a game where they didn't play the way they needed to play against Minnesota. But, yeah, they're playing differently. I mean, it was disappointing to lose in overtime in Nashville on Saturday night. I think Dean Evison put it perfectly where he said, it just needed to be a little bit cleaner to get the regulation win in that one. They had it there. They couldn't get it. But, overall, Brandon, to be honest with you, they're playing a lot different. When I say different, I just mean, more with a plan, more with structure.
I mean, it seems like a game, Bob, that we can look back in like a month or two and wish that it was 2 instead of just simply the overtime point. But I think the reason I thought that and felt that way after the game is watching the first 6, now 7 games in the bank, that there's this body of work here that despite, massive injuries and everything else that happened, this team is playing different like you talked about. And that there is a chance that there's meaningful hockey being played in February and March.
Yeah, you're right, Bobby. And if you look at, you talk about the injuries, and last week we talked about this because it was just right after Eric Goodbranson got hurt in one game and Kent Johnson got hurt in the next game. But and then there was that Minnesota game, but it wasn't the injuries there. It was just a culmination of things. But then they go out and they beat Toronto last week at home 6-2, and they do it without those guys. And like you said, they're in Nashville, and I didn't even think about them missing those two players in that game because I'm beginning to become accustomed to them just playing a certain way no matter who is in the lineup. And, Bobby, I know you remember years ago when John Tortorella was here and you used to talk to him all the time. That was one of the staples of that team because they had a way to play, and it didn't matter who was in the lineup. It's not that one guy is as talented as the other. I mean, there's not a forward in there right now that has the talent that Kent Johnson has, but it's about just playing the way they need to play within the system. And if they do that, they have a chance. And that's why you've seen them in these first, 6 of the 7. Again, I take out that Minnesota game at home where they just weren't good as a team. You've seen them in the first 6 or 7 where they really have a chance to win every game.
He is Bob McElligott, play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Is that coaching, Bob? Is it management? Is it just team will? Like, what is it, do you think? And I know it's early in the season. Like, it may be an entirely different conversation that we're having 2 months down the road here, but it does look like, at least for this time being, that this style is here to stay.
Yeah, it is here to stay, Brandon, and we'll have the same conversation, I believe, now and at the end of the year when it comes to this, because it is, look, a lot of these players are the same players, but they're playing differently, right? So it is coaching, and it's more of, it's a belief factor. And, okay, so as a coach, you come in, you go, here's the way I want you to play, here's what I expect from you, and if you do those things, you're going to give yourself a chance to win every night. But from a player standpoint, until they do it and see that they will have a chance to win every night and see that what you're selling me is actually what I should be buying, once that all goes together, then it's easy. Now it's an easy sell, right? I mean, during training camp, maybe it was one kind of a sell, and now it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. So, it is, it's coaching, but it's also selling, I mean, you got to make them believe, and once they do, then you got them.
How big is this week, Bob? 3 straight home games here. Now, the lineup is tough, obviously, with who's going to be coming in here to Nationwide Arena before going east and then ultimately head west for that West Coast swing. Does it feel like there's a lot of work that needs to be done as far as trying to bank some points and have some success in these games during this homestand?
Yeah, I think so, Bobby. I mean, you're always putting an importance on your games that you play at home. And, we always talk about this later in the year that, hey, the points at the beginning are just as valuable as the points at the end. The more you pick up now, the less you're chasing for later on. But that being said, you're right. It's no cakewalk this week. I mean, you've got the Edmonton Oilers coming in here tonight. They just played the Stanley Cup final in June. They came back. They got themselves an overtime win in Detroit last night. So maybe you can catch them on a back-to-back. And I would love to think that they might be a little bit low energy, but every time I watch Connor McDavid skate, I'm like, this guy never runs out of energy.
No.
So that's going to be tough. And then you play your first division game actually on Wednesday. Wednesday. That's right. I got to get my days straight here. When the Islanders come in here on Wednesday, Winnipeg comes in on Friday. To this point, they're still undefeated. And then you have to fly after the game to Washington and play the Capitals on Saturday. So 4 games this week. It's going to be tough. But like you said, 3 of the 4 at home. And even though the competition, and, look at it on paper, Edmonton and Winnipeg are 2, they're going to be tough. And the Islanders, even when they struggle, they're never easy because they can get into a boring defensive style game and just kind of suck the life out of you. So it is a big week. There's no question. It's early, but it is a big week because, like you said, next week you're going to be heading out to California. So those games are always tough.
Get your bags packed already, Bobby, for a 2-week road trip?
No, because I don't even know what to take. I went through this, Brandon. I packed for Nashville the other day. I'm like, this is so easy, right? And then I was thinking, how many suits am I taking to California? How many suits? How many shirts? How many ties? And then I got tired just thinking about it. So I'll do it last minute.
Yeah, they got dry cleaners out there too. Bob, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Have a great call tonight, Wednesday, Friday this week for the Jackets all at home. Have a great trip, buddy, and we'll check in again soon, okay?
All right. Thank you, guys.
There he goes. Bob McElligott, play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
I want to talk about taking care of yourself, the ones that you love. As we age, our bodies naturally lose testosterone. It can affect you in multiple ways. Your sleep gets jacked up, mood swings back and forth, muscle mass starts to just erode on you. Maybe you're gaining weight. Maybe you just don't have the time or energy to get out and do the things you love to do, be around with your kids, family, whatever it is. Get out there. These symptoms of low testosterone, they affect not only you, but those around you. So go see my folks at Affinity Whole Health. They're the leader in testosterone hormone replacement therapy. Affinity can help you optimize your testosterone levels to alleviate those symptoms. They also can help you with weight loss with semaglutide injections. So whatever season of life you're in, whether you're a dude, dudette, does not matter. Affinity can help you feel great again. So get started for free at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Tony Gerdeman, a Buckeye Huddle. He's going to break down Ohio State's performance against Nebraska with us next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Still watching delays on the east side on I-270 northbound. The left lane blocked off just past the 33 split as you're approaching the 7270 split due to a crash. I-71 southbound also slow moving this morning because of a crash just past Hudson Street, and I-71 northbound near Morse Road also watching a crash. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief, as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gahanna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Football fans, meet your new full-service auto partner, Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. From Honda to Ford to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, we have the perfect vehicle for every football fan. Stuck on the road? Our 24/7 towing and roadside assistance is just one call away, and our Carvenience service means no hassle, just great service. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. For unbeatable deals and unbelievable service, visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Chargers.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick It One.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football, The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this sale on red, green, or black seedless grapes. Right now, they're just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
We cap off the NFL Week 8 with a chance on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins in tonight's game. Who do we have? We got the Giants. We got the Steelers. We got Mr. Unlimited. Steal down. Steal got it. Maybe you take it. Maybe you take it over, under. Take that over number on his passing TD, sitting at 1.5. Malik Neighbors receiving yards. George Pickens receiving yards, Beam. Najee Harris. Who knows the possibilities? Maybe a Danny Dimes. Get him involved in there.
They're not at MetLife, so he can throw a touchdown tonight. He hasn't thrown one at home in like 2 years, but he has thrown a couple on the road. All you need to do, visit FanDuel.com/juice. Make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and older, present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLERS. We head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check in with our guy from Buckeye Huddle. He is Tony Gerdeman. Gerd, thanks so much for the time. Always appreciate it. As you can imagine, Bob and I, for a good chunk of the last hour and a half since we've been on the air at 6 a.m., have been talking about Ohio State's offense and some of their problems. Just to you on Saturday, Gerd, what stood out offensively that kind of bogged this team down?
Well, I think the biggest concern was clearly the offensive line and left tackle Zen Mahalski, and not to pick on him, but it seemed pretty clear that wasn't the answer and shouldn't have been the answer. And so in the past 2 weeks of prep for the Nebraska game, I see, here's the thing that I have. I don't know what's worse, that they thought that was the best option or that was the best option. And so if that was the best option that you had, that, what we saw, then that's not a great sign for moving forward and trying to do anything, let alone, get the running game going or having the pass protection for the deep game that they want to have. So I think, to me, that was the biggest thing. And coming into the season, Josh Simmons was always one of the 2 or 3 guys that they couldn't afford to lose and still have great designs on meeting the national championships and things like that. But so I think that's a big concern. And now you've got to go to Plan C with 1 week to prepare for the best defensive line maybe you'll see so far this year.
Oh, boy, that's good. On the road, too. Get a little noise element in there for him. Gerds, that'll be a fun environment. You mentioned, obviously, talking about the offensive line, and a lot of people always equate that to the passing game, but the inability to run the football, especially in short yardage situations, not something that we had seen. Were you surprised that they had the Will Howard on one of the sneaks, and he needed a yard and got 6, and they gave him 3? But were you surprised that they didn't incorporate him more into those short yardage running games to try to help maybe with a numbers advantage, given the struggles of the offensive line?
Yeah, especially there are a time or two where there's no nose tackle on one of those short yardages, and you feel like you could have just, tapped the center in the butt and said, let's go, and pick up the yardage. So, yeah, I was surprised there wasn't more of that. And, you think of that last drive, or the drive where they scored their touchdown to take the lead and win, when they threw on 4th and 1. Well, I mean, imagine if they don't get that, what the
the anger is about that. But that's, to me, a concern. And even, some of the stuff, some of the handoffs that look like reads, but were like, could they have been reads because Will Howard didn't pull it. It looked like he could have. And after the game, Will Howard talked about they didn't have many of those calls in the game, but that he got more. They got more aggressive with it in the fourth quarter. And I believe he said he got more aggressive with it in the fourth quarter. So I don't know if he was choosing not to do that earlier in the game, and you saw the defensive ends crashing down and stopping those running backs pretty easily, or if that was the call of straight handoffs and some of the RPOs. It looked like maybe there are numbers advantages out wide that they didn't go to. So it'll be interesting to talk to Ryan Day on Tuesday to find out how many of these were reads and how many of them were calls that Will Howard just basically had to hand the ball off. And now that's 2 weeks in a row. You take away, or 2 games in a row, you take away the 2 rushes for 70 yards for Travion Henderson, and he and Quinshon Judkins are averaging 2 yards per carry the last two games, and that's never going to get it done.
He is Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Since you mentioned it, Gerds, the 4th and 1 play, the completion to a McElligott kind of on the rollout, on a scale of 1 being the least difficult pass to make and a scale of 10 being the most difficult, a 4th and 1, pseudo game on the line. To me, at least on TV, now I wasn't in the building like you guys were, like that looked about a 9.5 on the Richter scale.
Hey, that's a lot of trust in both your quarterback and your receiver. And, we saw them miss some short stuff, and we've seen them miss some short stuff over the last couple of years. So, yeah, we see a lot of teams do it and, closer to the goal line and things like that, and it's tough for defenses to cover. But you have to be precise in all of it. So it's asking a lot, whereas, sometimes just brute force is a lot easier, you'd think.
Well, unless you're not getting it then. You mentioned the short passing. They did have some long passes, which we hadn't seen in a while. More encouraged by that, the ability to kind of take the top off, because it felt like they could have maybe done that a little bit more should they really tried.
Yeah, and I wonder how many more times they tried, because you saw one other time in the second quarter where Will dropped back and he kind of cocked his shoulder like he was going to go deep, but then had to pull it back. And I don't know that we saw any of that in the second half. There are no deep shots. I don't even know that they dialed any up, or you didn't see Will Howard loading up for some. And so, was that a situation where Nebraska kept their safeties back and tried to eliminate that? And if they did, then why can't you run the ball? Which is, Nebraska can't be doing both. They can't be loading the box, and they also can't be leaving safeties back to stop the deep ball. So you should be able to do one or the other, especially with this kind of talent. But then, as you said, it goes all the way back to the offensive line and making sure you got time. So I also wonder, how concerned were they that they didn't have the time to throw the ball downfield, except for the fact that they were successful doing it twice. The 2 times they did it, they hit twice. So, if you try it 2 more times and you only hit 1 more time, it seems like that's an acceptable number.
Hey, Gerd, before we get you out of here, what did you make of the whole Arvell Reese targeting situation Saturday?
He hit the player in the face with his shoulder. And so the fact that 2 body parts touched is gonna, trigger some of the replay officials. However, we see much worse stuff every single game that doesn't get called or gets overturned. I was thinking about this yesterday real quickly. I would like for all of the calls that replay officials have made over the years to then be asked to do it like 5 years ago, the calls you made. Let's watch them again and see if you come up with the same exact decision on what is targeting and what is not, because nobody ever agrees on this thing. So, great rule. I understand the meaning of it, but there's no consistency with it.
That would put more onus and responsibility on the refs, and we can't have that. And I go to the game and spend hundreds of dollars to watch them. Gerd, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning, buddy. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the beautiful drive out to State College, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Cannot wait.
There he goes, Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Huddle with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We get juice next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still watching slowdowns on I-270 northbound just past the 270-33 split. Expect to be slow moving because of a crash blocking the left lane. I'm 10 TV's Amy Sutterwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
This report is sponsored by AAA Car Care Plus. Tires worn down from all the summer driving? Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus between August 1st and August 31st and save up to $180 on select sets of 4 Veretta Stein tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are your feet stopping you from being active and making it difficult to get healthier? Trade in your bad feet for good feet. Wouldn't it be nice to work, walk, and play pain-free again? Visit the Good Feet store today or visit goodfeet.com.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief, as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gehenna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
It's Monday Night Football on ESPN Columbus and the Fans HD2. Catch the Giants and Steelers from New Yinzerville. Live coverage starts Thursday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, plenty of sunshine, high 69. Tonight, clear, low 54. And then near record warmth tomorrow. Look at this. Sunny on your Tuesday with a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We're here on the Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Bob, Monday, juice time.
Oh, well, the Buckeyes won.
They did win.
They beat a pretty good team. Not a great team, but a good team. And you know what? You got to see a fourth quarter comeback, Beam. You probably didn't have that in your bingo card. Buckeyes fourth quarter comeback. We're going to look at the positive element of that. Also got me juiced in a
better than the opposite.
Yeah, got me juiced in a positive way. Bryce Harper was at the game with his lovely wife. Played soccer here, and they had their 3 kids up in the suite. And
she was in one of my classes at Ohio State.
Oh, really?
And they were engaged at the time that she was in school.
Well, she's a boss. She was awesome talking to her.
Her ring was quite impressive.
Is she from Las Vegas?
Yeah, they went to high school together.
Okay.
So I was talking to them. They had their 3 kids as 6-month-old. I mean, you want to talk like she's awesome. Like she was changing their 6-month-old daughter like before they left and walked out. And my son, it was a little bit Miami Heat-esque. He was kind of getting bored at the game, 5th graders, and the game wasn't like exciting, I think, to them because there wasn't a lot of scoring.
It's a classic vintage Big Ten football game.
And so then I was up there with Paul and Jim, like, all right, you guys, if you want to leave, you can. But you can't come back in, like go out stadium. And then they found out, I was like, that is Bryce Harper over there. And I went over, so I talked to him after the game, and we're walking out. I was like, hey, man, my son's out here, like, and some of his friends. It's like, oh, absolutely, dude, absolutely great. And whatever, so they like came running down. I go, you got to stay outside of the gate that you left, and we'll get you when we walk out of there. And so he took a picture with my boys, and I didn't have that on my bingo card for them either. I go, you can get to Ohio State, we'll do pregame stuff and some things. I'm like, I didn't think Bryce Harper was going to be there, but he was an awesome guy, and I thanked him like for his involvement with Ohio State. Like, I mean, that's big time for the sports department. Like his wife playing here, him coming and being involved with it.
So remember too, he didn't go to college. Like, he doesn't have a college to call home.
100%. I'm like, dude, we can adopt you. Like you can be our guy.
Yeah,
like that's great. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. He's like, whatever. I'm like, no, dude, you're really like whatever. I was like, I was just pumped, and I was more impressed that he was the type of dude he was. He had his 5- and 6-year-old son and daughter running around in there. And a lot of fun to see that. They got the win. My oldest son, RJ, finished up their freshman football season 9-0-1. So
nice.
No losses there. Not quite undefeated-ish. I mean, you get a tie. So
unbeaten.
Unbeaten, yes. But they had one tie there. So that was pretty exciting. They finished that up and wrapped it. Now it's on to winter sports, and swim practice starts today. Get right back in the pool and get going. And then my youngest son, Caleb, they lost their last real game in soccer. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but my daughter did win their lacrosse championship in their tournament in Indy that they were over there for. So
great.
Busy weekend, felt like a pretty good weekend. A lot of crazy things going on in college football. And I figured I'd give you a little levity today. On a Monday where you probably need a little pick-me-up, now you see him on the Fox desk, I believe, Mr. Rob Gronkowski. Fox, correct?
Yeah.
Fox desk, with Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, about how he liked to spend his money in college and what he was about.
I had no money in college because my brother and we put all our money together. I was left in our bank account. We bought a hot tub the first 3 weeks we were at the University of Arizona. Literally, we drained our bank accounts. They were at $0. All I needed was $15 a week, and I was satisfied. It got the job done.
What did it get you?
It got me a 30-pack, and it got me lunch. That's all I needed. That's all I needed, folks.
Who needs NIL?
Exactly. Got me a 30-pack, and it got me lunch.
His visit at Ohio State's an all-timer, too, because he's disheveled and he's hungover at his official visit at Ohio State. And the best part is that there's a young Jackets insider, Jeff Svoboda, who is still a student at Ohio State, is like a photographer right next to him.
There's nobody I know that has more fun living than Gronk. And so that has got me juiced today. I needed that on a Monday that we're apologizing for a win. There's things to clean up, but yes. Shark, what shall I got to say?
Listen, this body needs red meat and veggies. You know what I mean?
Like, it doesn't need oils. It needs meat.
Oils.
What does that even mean? Well, I guess he's maybe not at that Diddy party I thought he was.
I was driving home from Destin on Saturday, and I got out of my silo and flipped it to the fan app. And so...
Was it working?
Yeah, it worked the whole time.
Good.
Like from 9:15.
So that was the day.
Yeah, 9:15. Well, 8:15 Alabama time. I heard Rothman and Timmy May.
And Katzenmoyer
doing the tailgate show, and then on through the pregame show and the game, and Beamer and Timmy doing the postgame. That got me almost to Cincinnati.
Gosh, that's a nice little drive.
Yeah, it was. And I got to hear Bobby talk about QC Kinetics. And
well, Paul actually gave me a little drop reference in there during the game.
I heard it. I did hear that. I heard him say that Bobby Carpenter, linebacker on that 2002 team, is in the booth with us today. I also heard him say that Jim Donovan had died.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart. Obviously, he retired right after the preseason. I didn't know he was in that bad a shape that his days were numbered then. But anyway,
remember that when you retire, Shark.
Yeah, I know. He was 68, Bob, so I've got 4 years to go. Anyway, I was not juiced about that, but I was juiced that the Browns went out yesterday and gave him a nice tribute and then won a game for him with a new quarterback and a new play caller. And that was a lot of fun to beat those Ravens. Always fun to beat the Ravens, Beam.
I have no juice today.
None?
No.
Come on, the Buckeyes won. And I know it wasn't great, but a win is a win is a win. 6 weeks from now,
I'm not talking about them.
I know you're not.
I'm not talking about them. I have no juice after last night's game. None.
Would you say the Bears are back?
I think they are back.
Just say it.
Back to being a disheveled franchise. It was a pretty good weekend. I mean, we had a great time. Mariner Mom went to the game. They had an awesome time. They ended up walking from the stadium because the 2 bus was not like circulating because they were going to get up High Street and come back home. So they ended up walking from the stadium to the Giant Eagle north of campus. I'm like, that's a nice robust walk that they had after the game.
I give Kel's time to sober up.
Yeah, and it was awesome too because when I dropped him off, Bob, I went down Woodruff. I'm like, let's look at where we used to live, relive some of the glory days. And it was great. I went right down Indianola, just went right on down Indianola, turned right on Woodruff, dropped him off on the corner of Woodruff and High, got back up High Street. I mean, this was at like 9:30 in the morning, and I was in and out of campus in like 4 minutes. I mean, it was
touching the tip. You're like right there.
Yeah, I was not on campus, but I was really, really close to it. So I guess not getting into a traffic jam on Saturday has got me very fired up. And Willie's having a great time, just the time of his life this weekend. Every day is the best day of his life, I think Meredith said, and I couldn't agree more with that. The Bengals have some serious problems. We'll get into that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Still watching slowdowns on I-270 northbound on the east side. There's a crash just past the 270-33 split that has traffic slow moving. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors. Voted by Columbus homeowners as the leading and most trusted window brand. Find out why at PellaColumbus.com or at their brand new Polaris showroom.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at ByersAuto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
what's it like to have a yard?
Can lead to an even bigger question like,
am I ready to buy a home?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you, prepared to talk about everything you need to know when applying for a mortgage, so you can try to turn those backyard dreams into reality. Paul?
Yes?
Question. Are you a hammock person?
You know, I think I might be.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. NMLS 399797, Equal Housing Lender.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent to help you pick a policy that's right for you. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
November is Veterans Month, and Awaken 180 is honoring all active duty veterans and spouses with 15% off your entire program, plus the same free support for life all clients receive. Celebrate Veterans Month with 15% off at awaken180weightloss.com.
Gambling too much or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is there for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning. I'm Bart the Shark. In 7 games this season, quarterback Deshaun Watson threw 5 touchdown passes for the Browns. He's out for the season with a torn Achilles. Yesterday, Jameis Winston threw 3 touchdown passes in Cleveland's 29-24 upset of the Ravens. The Browns snapped a 5-game losing streak. In Cincinnati, Jalen Hurts was a one-man wrecking crew for the Eagles. He ran for 3 touchdowns and passed for another as Philly nailed the Bengals 37-17 since he falls to 3-5. In baseball, Dodgers DH Shohei Ohtani suffered a partially dislocated left shoulder in Game 2 of the World Series, but is set to play tonight in Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. L.A. leads 2-0. In the NHL, Edmonton won at Detroit 3-2 in overtime and then flew to Columbus. The Oilers meet the Blue Jackets tonight, face-off 7 o'clock here on The Fan. The Sports Center is sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
It's Reaction Monday, where our highly trained experts talk football.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Your home for reaction and overreaction. The Fan. Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Hour 3 of the program for us on a Reaction Monday. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Sharky, Backy from Vacation-y. Great to have you back, Shark, as always. 8:33 coming up here this hour. Joshua Perry, he's going to join the program. We'll recap some of the Buckeyes game on Saturday with him, amongst other things going on in college football.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Do Buckeye Heavy segment coming up at 8:20. Buckeye Heavy segment at 8:20.
Was it worse for you every time you watched the Commanders celebration beam?
I think it almost...
And the fact that you got done by one of your own dudes, like Noah Brown, the former Buckeye.
Poison arrow right underneath the ribs.
Not even poison arrow, more like a 6-inch dagger. That one that Commodus hit. Geez, I can't even think of his name. Gladiator. Maximus with just the real, because it was kind of an intimate blow. I mean, it was Noah Brown.
I'm telling you, it was right between the rib cage, man. Yeah,
there it is, wide open.
To make my Monday better too, my favorite soccer team, Manchester United in Europe, just fired their coach. So I'm really having a nice start to this morning.
Maybe if the Bears did the same, you'd be in a good
they
spot.
might be in a better situation, honestly. I mean, that's a defensive guy. Now, they did play good defense. They were in the game. Their defense did their jobs, except for on the very last play. Hey, defense for Ohio State did their jobs on Saturday.
This was honestly pretty good defensive performance. You know, you're holding them to field goals. You have a goal line stand after the interception. I mean, the defense played, I thought, pretty well.
Yeah. 13 TFLs in that game.
People wanted them to be more aggressive. They were. Now, with the aggression comes sometimes the quarterback may get out of the pocket, and when you've blitzed the second-level defenders, there's no one there to get them. So Dylan Raiola, who may run a 5.1 40, managed to get a third. He was like looking for someone to tackle.
He was. He's like, nobody's around. He kept whipping his head back and forth.
I mean, he could have been like old boy in Indy and just had to take the next play off because he was too tired. Richardson, like, that's unfortunate, but I thought the defense stepped up. They did what they needed. Nebraska 5 of 16 on third down. That's good. Ohio State 1 of 10 on third down. That is really bad.
That's a quick math on that's 10%. They did go 50% on fourth downs, though.
Yeah, but the one was a 4th and 1 you got stuffed in after getting stuffed on third. Like, that's not good.
And the one was the completion outside to Emeka, which was pretty high on the difficulty scale.
It was. You rushed the ball for less than 70 yards, so that's also not good. You had the ball for about 25 minutes. That's also not very good. Will Howard was good.
Bob, outside of the touchdown drives, all you did in the second half with your offense was 3 and out.
Yeah.
Not even just punt, 3 and outs.
Yeah, it was very unsettling, to say the least. So there will be a lot of work that'll need to be done. There'll be a lot of soul searching that's going to need to be done. And we'll get into this more, like you said, at 8:20, heavy segment, for the Buckeyes there. But that's just a little top line beam. But the Buckeyes, the headline is down the Cornhuskers 21-17 with a nice fourth quarter comeback.
that's the positive.
Nice drive.
That's
Will Howard leads them down there. Yeah. And even more of a positive spin. I was just talking last segment about Bryce Harper, and it got me, him being there and his wife and their lovely family. They were awesome. And as they left, they took a picture with my son. And they were getting ready to go, and they're like walking south towards the stadium. Like, just park down there. And they're like, no, we're gonna walk down to the Oval.
Nice.
And I'm like on your feet? And they're like, yeah, we're gonna walk down and
gonna take a stroll
and walk around a little bit. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. That thought has never crossed my mind.
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
That it was. They had the stroller fired up, walking the kids
around.
It's like, you are a normal dude. Like, I'm not a big baseball guy, but sometimes baseball Bob comes out. I was like, Bryce Harper might be my new favorite MLB player.
Jersey time?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? That might not be I'm not a big jersey guy at this stage of my life, but I would do that. I was like, you're just going to walk down there with your family? I don't even know if my kids and wife would want to walk down to the Oval with me.
They definitely wouldn't.
And I don't that's a walk I really never even made in college. That sounds terrible. Get on the core circulator beam and have them cruise you on around that way.
Yeah, I never just hung out on the Oval. That was not really my scene.
Yeah, but
I'd rather be at the corner of some dark, dingy bar
and so when you were
getting sun rays.
You were telling me Mary and Kelly walked back up to Giant Eagle. I was like, well, I guess he walked the other way and walked down to the Oval, and he had a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-month-old with him.
I'll tell you what, you couldn't have doctored up a better day on Saturday.
It was beautiful.
It was gorgeous outside. Gorgeous. You could have
wear
whatever you wanted. You could have worn shorts and a t-shirt. You could have worn long sleeves and a hoodie.
I said, well, you guys move back when you're done. I mean, I know you're from Vegas. It's hot, but I go, it's Columbus, like the San Diego of the Midwest. We've had this weather for the last 2 weeks.
It's been so good. So good. Yeah, so Buckeyes get it done 21-17. At Penn State, Saturday noon, 3.5-point favorites are the Buckeyes. So keep an eye on that line as we get deeper into the week. Preds 4, Jackets 3. That one went to overtime Saturday night in Nashville. Quick turnaround for them. Home against the Oilers tonight at 7 o'clock. You can, of course, listen to that 6:30 right here on The Fan. Then it's a Wednesday. Then it's a Friday. Then you start the road trip in Washington Saturday, and then you're off to California next week. Shark, everybody expected this to happen. Browns 29, Ravens 24. For as much as
I turned that on. I'm like, they're messing around. The Ravens are going to lose this game.
As much as the Washington Commanders fans out there this morning should be thanking the Bears secondary for not having the back line of the tip covered, Browns fans out there should be thanking Kyle Hamilton for dropping that interception that Jameis threw right to him before he threw the big touchdown pass.
They had the dropsies yesterday.
Yes,
the
they
Ravens
did.
defenders, 3 of them, 3 times they were right in their hands and they dropped him. Jameis could have had 3 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions, but fate smiled on the Browns yesterday.
Yes, they did. Yes, it did. 29-24 victory.
I thought we were trying to get that number 1 overall pick, Shark. Can't even do that right.
The Patriots, too.
Yeah, they beat the Jets straight up.
Win number 2.
Well, the Panthers didn't win yesterday. They're bad. Bryce Young played all right, though, so they got that to look forward to, which is good. Bengals could also be in that running because they got smoked by the Eagles. 37-17 was a good game.
For a while, then it
wasn't a good game. Yeah, then it just turned into a really bad game. No offensive line. Their defense crumbled in the second half. They didn't really address anything so far during the season via trades, and now you're stuck with a team that is 3-5. They're 0-4 at home, and if you're trying to conjure up 10 wins for you, that would mean that you're going to have to go like 7-2 over the next 9 games.
By the way, your guy Matt Eberflus. The fact that they gave Terry McLaurin a free 13 yards.
I know.
Was
Bob, I know. There's 12 seconds left to go in the game, and you're playing prevent coverage then.
Like, they're not going to.
They couldn't even get the ball to the goal line if you.
Let them have it. Let them have a 40-yard throw to the middle of the field. They won't even be able to spike it.
Yeah.
We used to have, we called it last 2. Like your final play, Hail Mary, but last 2 is where there are no timeouts. You guard the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let them have anything else. They want to take a 5-yard out, we'll give you the 5, but we're not giving you 10 or more.
Yeah.
Your boy.
Hey, don't forget, he got a makeover and he spent the summer or the winter off season, whatever it is, in Lake Como. Just don't forget that.
He's big time.
Just don't forget that. Shark, how did you feel about the Guardians? Because we didn't get a chance to do this.
It was painful watching the entire postseason, not just because they lost in 5 to the Yankees. I just got so irritated with the way he handled that pitching staff. It was driving me crazy.
What game was it where they yanked, what's his name, Bybee out after like
an inning and a half?
Yeah, inning and a third or whatever
Gave
it was.
Up 1 earned run.
Yeah.
But they had taken him out in the first game when they won 7-0. They had taken him out after 4 2/3. They took him out after the 4th inning in game 2. It was I'm going to have to go back and look at what the starters' ERA was and how many innings they pitched in the entire postseason compared to what the relievers' ERA and innings pitched. I'll bet the relievers.
Class A's like quadrupled.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't just Class A. Gaddis gave up a big homer. Kane Smith gave up a big homer. At some point, they just wore down.
Yes, and like this is my problem with like their payroll is $150 million. It's half of everyone else's. 40% maybe.
Not even 150. It's like 109.
I was being generous. Okay, everyone else is like 330. The fact that you couldn't go out there and try to pick up a starting pitcher to help bolster your chances. That might be all you needed. That way, when you're going through murderer's row with their 3, 4, 5 hitters at the Yankees, like
Bob, they have Rizzo batting 8th.
I know. It's like Soto.
How many?
You know, Soto was 4 for 18.
No, you're talking about Stanton.
Stanton, I mean, yeah. Stanton.
4 for 18, all 4 hits were homers. And he hit one in game 1 of the World Series. It's a strikeout or it's a home run. How about Freddie Freeman, by the way?
Yeah.
Drama.
Yeah.
What was that? Friday night?
Game
night.
1. Walk-off.
2
grand
outs,
slam.
bottom of the 9th, bottom of the 10th.
Didn't even need all 4.
No. I may have taken my shirt off while I was rounding the bases if I was him.
Oh, I would have ripped. Unless you're the Astros and you've got the wiretap on you like Jose Altuve did, there's nothing for Freddie to hide.
You get a walk-off
rip that shirt off, throw the helmet into the stands, bat flip. I mean, chuck that thing out to Santa Monica.
You got a timer on how long your dude's
Bob, I see it.
Oh, wait.
I see it. I've been watching.
Oh, better run over there.
I've been watching the whole morning, all right? You don't need to rub it in my face. I know. Tyreek Stevenson, 4.1 seconds before he turned around to watch where the ball is coming.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Tim texted me after the game, too, which didn't help.
Yeah, you could have done without that.
I could have easily lived without that text. I could have been just fine living without one. Sunday Night Football, 49ers beat the Cowboys 30-24. Monday Night Football tonight, you get the Giants at the Steelers. I believe that game is on ESPN Columbus at 8 o'clock. The Ohio State offensive line was not good enough on Saturday, and those aren't my words. Those are Ryan Day's. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
A good Monday morning to you. Still watching slowdowns on I-270 northbound just past the 270-33 split because of a crash from earlier this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this sale on red, green, or black seedless grapes. Right now, they're just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Trust & Will knows that you're likely celebrating a loved one's birthday this month because fall is the most popular birthday season in America. And Trust & Will celebrates by protecting what matters most. Trust & Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, designed by attorneys but customized by you. Visit trustandwill.com with offer code Columbus for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust & Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
85% of people will experience foot pain in their lifetime. Long-term remedies are scarce. Good Feet Arch Supports from the Good Feet store can help. They are designed to relieve common foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, and they also improve balance and comfort. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Football is built on tradition, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With a lifetime powertrain warranty on every vehicle purchase, you know you're getting a relationship that's built to last. Need service? Our Carvenience service takes care of everything, from picking up your vehicle to dropping it off when it's done, leaving you with a rental car in between. And with 4 dealerships and a collision center, Hinderer Motor Company is your one-stop shop for all things automotive. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Tailgating this weekend? Schmitz Catering has you covered. Schmitz will cater your neighborhood party or company tailgate and handle all the heavy lifting. They can even grill for you at your location. Schmitz is the perfect way to celebrate this football season with their delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more. Let Schmitz bring their hoss to yours. Check out their full catering menu at schmidthoss.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
You know, Ohio's Supreme Court makes headlines for the wrong reasons. They even ruled it's okay for boneless chicken wings to have bones that can choke kids.
But we can stop their extreme one-party politics by voting for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes for Ohio's Supreme Court.
Right. Ohio's newspapers say Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes are the clear choice.
We need an experienced, independent court we can trust. And Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes will judge the Reproductive Freedom Amendment fairly and honestly, protecting our rights, safety, and families.
Ohioans deserve independent justice, transparency, and equal treatment under the law. That's why we really need Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes to provide checks and balances.
Don't stop fighting for your rights, freedoms, and choices. But do remember to vote for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes.
Paid for by Donnelly for Supreme Court, Stewart for Ohio Supreme Court, and Forbes for Justice.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cold this morning with temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Near 70 later today with plenty of sunshine. Partly cloudy tomorrow, much warmer, high of 80. Very warm on Wednesday with a high of 80 as well. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here, 8:33 this morning, Joshua Perry, he's going to join us. We'll react to what he saw on Saturday for the Buckeyes. You were there. How was the...
You were there.
Hey, Bob, you were there.
What's going on?
How was... But JP wasn't there for this. He wasn't there for the game. He was doing his job at NBC.
Which was even worse. He's watching in a green room with other people who are not... There's generally fans, and so they're just watching, and he's probably just getting infuriated.
Yeah.
But then he has to also watch other games, and then you have to try to be impartial and go on the desk afterwards. Yeah, that's hard. Like watching it in a work setting in a sports deal and people are probably jabbing at you. I mean, it's real easy to explode.
Yeah, tough. But you were there on Saturday. How was the 10-year Ohio State National Championship reunion?
Well, at that point in the game, it was pretty good, B. Okay. Things were looking good. It was, I think, 14. Maybe no, because it was in between the first and second. So it was just 7-0 at that point. We were feeling pretty good about things. Like, okay, Buckeyes starting a little slow, but they'll pick it up. But it was cool. They had Urban out there, obviously. A good portion of the players, I think, were back. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a lot of guys still playing off of those teams. And then there's, some of the guys that are working, like Tyvis. And I don't know if Tyvis there?
No.
Oh, okay, Tyvis was not there. JP, like Cardell, was working. So it's tough. I guess why the 20 years a little better because most people are done. And then a lot of guys will take that weekend off, just because it's a bigger event. And, everybody's coming back. And you're kind of adults then at that point, like for real. You're in your
you're a man. You're
38 to 40-some years old.
So we'll check in with Joshua Perry coming up here around 8:33. I don't know if he would have rather been in Columbus or not for the game.
I saw his parents.
Yeah?
Before the game. Always filled with positive juice.
Yeah, good.
And Georgette's rolling, ready to go.
Here was Ryan Day after the game. Pretty straight to the point on the run game.
We need to run the football. I think we ran the ball for 64 yards, and 24 was up from Will. And that's not even close to good enough. So we're averaging under 3 yards a carry with Quinshon and Travion. That's not getting it done. We got to do better than that.
Yeah, that's straight to the point.
That's not getting it done. We got to do better than that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was his shots were at those guys. And gosh, there was one that Trey popped through it.
Yes, it was a shoestringer.
And it was like if he gets through that, you feel like it's out the gate. And that's what he gives you. But Quinshon obviously had the the go-ahead touchdown to win the game. But I don't think anybody is looking at that saying those guys are missing cuts or missing holes or not getting an extra yard, breaking one extra tackle. There needs to be more movement up front. And the offensive line was a question mark coming into this season. It appeared to get righted, and things looked good in the non-conference. Yep. Things even looked pretty good.
Even in the Oregon game,
you had the home run, and things looked all right. Now, it wasn't as clean as you would have liked.
Yep.
And then you lose Josh Simmons. Okay, that's not great. But, you were able against Oregon to run it on the goal line. When you need to punch it in, they punched it in with Quinshon on the goal line. The problem is this week, on a 3rd and 4th and 1 around midfield in the second half, you got stoned twice.
Yeah.
Twice. And that is something that I know Ryan is digging in, Fry, Chip Kelly, all those guys, they're trying to find answers. And whether it's personnel, scheme, technique, there's good attitude. They're going to be digging in and trying to find that and trying to remedy it.
Yeah, so, it's a huge concern now, right? I think we all addressed it when Josh Simmons went down, that it was going to be a concern. And now his backups in Mahalski goes down. So actually, Donovan Jackson swung out from left guard to left tackle. They brought in Luke Montgomery to play the left side. Taker didn't have a good game either.
No.
So now, you are in, and it's probably already done at this point, like you had alluded to. You are in answer finding mode. And I don't know if it's going to be straight up competition this week or practice, but I'm sure that they have a plan in place right now as to who the 5 guys are going to be that you trot out there Saturday at noon.
Well, now you're back to a little bit of trying to figure. Like, thankfully, like Austin Serveld, had played pretty well, and so do you put him in there then at guard? Like,
do you want to take Donovan out of that guard spot?
Like, that's the question. Like, would we rather have him there where he's really good, or put him at tackle where there's not that he can't do it, but there's a reason why he's playing guard.
Yeah.
And so do you want to then put him at tackle and maybe have him be okay at tackle versus really good at guard? But then what does your tackle spot look like? And trying to balance that, like, I don't know. I don't have the answers. That's stuff that I guarantee you Saturday night, thankfully it was a noon game, and this was a problem that they were working on Saturday night. They had the full Vanilla Ice. If there's a problem, I'll solve it. Like, we got to figure this out right now.
Yeah, it might be like MacGyver time.
So Sunday when the players come in, we can articulate a plan as to how we're going to move forward this week.
You juxtapose that with what Nebraska's defensive line was able to do with you, and then what Penn State's defensive line is. That's 2 pretty tough challenges. By the way, side nugget, I never felt older in my life than on Saturday when they said Willis McGahee IV. And I'm like, is that the same Willis McGahee? And they're like, yes. Well, they didn't say that on the broadcast, but I inferred that in my own mind. I heard that. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm just getting old.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I was talking to Dominic Raiola before the game. I mean, and my kids came over, introduced him. They were talking to him and everything. And I was like, that's Dylan's dad. Like, the guy who plays quarterback. The guy who plays quarterback, you played together? I'm like, yeah, the end of my career, or end of his career is like middle of mine. We were playing up together in Detroit. Well, he played I thought it was 12. He played 14 years in the league. Gosh, long time. But, I mean, it's amazing when you start to see guys you play with, their kids coming through and playing in college and then ultimately in the NFL.
Good news for this team. Defensively,
they got to win.
First and foremost, they got to win. But you limited Nebraska to 273 yards. What we thought was a mega problem against Oregon, and it seemed to be remedied. Now, you did have the big gainers. You had those because you were bringing up the blitzes and you were dialing some things up.
And so, we can get into all the inside football. There was one on the long run, I think, is where Caleb Downs blitz ups the middle. I love bringing Caleb. He's a really good blitzer. He gets picked up by the back.
He had a couple of unbelievable run stops in the game on Saturday.
He's a great tackler. And I don't know if this is structurally, I'll have to kind of figure it out. But when we would always internally blitz, unless you contain on the edge, but inside, one of the things in the NFL they teach, always cross the face of the quarterback. Never go past them, go in front of them. And then if you do, but it forces him to reset, move his feet, and they're less apt to then step up and run the ball. And that didn't happen on that play. And I don't know if that's by design, and sometimes, hey, don't do this or don't do that. But that's an element there that if you're going to start bringing pressure, you cannot have that happen.
Oh, it's 40 yards of wide open space.
And he's not somebody that's capable of running 40 yards on a football field unless you give him literally the wide open spaces.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch this week, too, because Drew Aller in that game against Wisconsin, he went down with apparently a knee injury.
And that's big because Drew, even if he comes back, he is an adept runner. He's not Lamar Jackson out there. But
he's better than Dylan Raiola.
Oh, yes. He's a better runner than Dylan Raiola. Not even close.
And so the kid who came in for him just started kind of gashing. Started gashing Wisconsin a little bit. Bo Prabula is his name. And he actually played a really good game. 11 for 13, 98 yards. Did have the touchdown. And then he had 6 carries for 28 yards. So, that's another thing you're going to have to watch out for this week as we really get into the preparation week. But yeah, I thought it was a better day out of the defense, and that goal line stand was huge. And it did seem after the Arvell targeting penalty, the crowd came alive and the defense came alive.
Well, sometimes you need a targeting penalty to get some people to start throwing their waters on the field and get them juiced. I do not endorse that, by the way, folks. So I don't want to live in a society where we just throw things on the projectiles on the field. I know this isn't new. Texas did it. Cleveland's a place, Shark, where they used to like to do that a lot. My dad was there with the Oilers when people threw glass bottles. That's the reason I don't do glass anymore at stadiums, because they would hit players with them and they had to go to the hospital. They had to kick the extra point at the other end of the field. But we don't need to do that. We don't need that. But I will say, there was a better energy level the rest of the game.
It was.
Positives, negatives, I guess.
Joshua Perry reacts to the Buckeye game from Saturday with us next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and happy Monday. Still watching some slowdowns on I-270 northbound on the east side. We've got the left lane blocked off just past the 270-33 split. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season?
Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize.
A trip for two to New Orleans or the Super Bowl.
Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory.
This week, join me on Sunday at Yogi's Bar and Grill in Dublin. I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. watching the Browns take on the Bengals and giving you a shot at the Super Bowl, courtesy of Bud Light.
Breaking news. Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
The Christmas cash giveaway is now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Bo Bishop here. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala, High Bank Distillery, November 12th.
It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, and me.
The gala benefits the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com.
21 or older, please drink responsibly.
Just how liberal is Sherrod Brown? Take a look at his actual votes. That's what Debbie from the Cleveland area did.
I thought I knew Sherrod Brown. Now I hear he's super liberal, so I went and looked at his votes. Brown voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions. It's horrific. The AMA said it should be banned, but Sherrod voted for it more than once.
In fact, Sherrod Brown voted for partial birth abortion 6 different times.
Partial birth abortion? Allowing trans biological men in girls' locker rooms and girls' sports? Sex change surgery for kids? He seemed like a good guy, but with Brown's voting record, I just can't vote for him.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. When you look at his actual votes, Sherrod Brown is just way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Just announced for the rest of October, we're lowering the finance rate to 0.9% on every new Lindsay Honda. And you still get the Lindsay Honda difference. A $1,295 value package included with every vehicle purchase.
This is it.
Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24 and 25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up tomorrow at this very time, Uncle Bo Bishop, he's going to join us. Talk a little Browns with him. Also, talk a little Buckeyes. I saw him and the boys were in the stadium.
You're on the sideline before the game.
Yeah, looking great, having a good time out there. So Uncle Bo, he will join us Tuesday at 8:33, as he always does. But our guy who always joins us Monday at this very time, as we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, check in with Joshua Perry. JP, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. I'll just give the floor to you on your unfettered thoughts about Ohio State's thrilling 21-17 victory over Nebraska.
I'm really trying to figure out how I want to do this because I respect winning. I think winning is very difficult. I played for a team where we lost to an unranked opponent at home, and we got blown out, and it wasn't pretty. And I understand how difficult it is to bring your best every time you go out there on the field. I also thought that there were a lot of aspects of Saturday's game that were just pitiful. And it's really difficult where I think a lot of people felt like, when you go on the road, you play a team like Oregon, you lose by a point. Certainly wasn't the cleanest game. You were right there. I think there's part of this, you feel confident that you're looking at a really good football team, but you want to see that fire when they come out, especially after a bye week. And it just wasn't that performance. And it's a really strange spot right now, too, because you had the game and obviously the way that it went and how tight it was. Obviously, you saw Coach Day getting animated on the field, and I know that people had conversations about that. Fans throwing water bottles down there. You had people on Twitter making some crazy commentary about guys trying to pray with the other team, and it feels like we're losing the plot a little bit. It feels like we're losing the plot a little bit, and that's a tough spot to be in. So, the game was kind of ugly. Defense showed up in some spots where they needed to. I thought there were some other spots where they frustrated me. I think offensively, we saw the deep ball get going. Just about the rest of everything else was pretty frustrating. So it's back to the drawing board. And winning's important at this point, but you're coming up against a Penn State team that's, they're playing solid ball. I certainly think they're gettable, but it just doesn't feel like it was a confidence-instilling performance coming off the bye week, and that was the biggest disappointment.
So you're heading to Penn State this week, so it's not exactly a get-right opportunity. Now, if you win, I think you'd feel confident and you feel good about it, and they've got their own issues with Drew Aller and whether he's nicked up or he'll be back. But heading here, what is your confidence level coming out of that game? Are these correctable issues as you see them, JP?
Yeah, I think the offensive line is the one where you're like, I don't think there's a clear, quick answer for it. Certainly you're looking at a depth problem at this point, especially at that left tackle spot. And I don't know what the solution is. I think they're going to have to shuffle the lineup at that point. But, again, I think there's also this idea of maybe for a couple weeks, Trey and Q, you're going to have to make those guys a little bit better than they're playing right now. And it's a really difficult thing to ask. But when you have two running backs that are that good, I think you can put it on their shoulders that way. Defensively, I loved how aggressive they got, but I'm also looking at the pass rush and I'm like, you guys got to rush with a little bit of integrity. Go ahead and give me your best move, but somebody's got to be able to close the middle of the pocket, whatever the case is. That's something that I do think is correctable. And I'll be completely honest about Penn State is the more that I've watched them, the less I believe that they're a great football team. I actually think the offense runs better when they have the backup quarterback in there. So maybe that's a game changer. If Drew Aller can't go, Bo Pagula, the backup quarterback, moves really well. Got some arm talent there. Their offensive line is not that great. Their running backs haven't played that great. Their wide receivers are a bad group. Their tight end is phenomenal. He's a bona fide NFL player, and you got to stop him. He's really good. And then defensively, I think their front is good. I think their linebackers are okay, and I think their secondary slow. So if I'm looking at this matchup, I think Ohio State should be able to win this game, even going on the road. But you can't win it with the performance like we saw a week ago. And so this is what we'll figure out is what team is it? Is it the team that can go toe-to-toe with the number one team on the road? Or is it a team that kind of sleepwalks coming off the bye week against a Nebraska team that's good, not great?
He is Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. How much do you put into the stock of the Happy Valley Beaver Stadium effect in this game being on the road and not at home, JP?
I think that environment certainly does come into play. The biggest thing is and I know fans hate this, and I feel it because I played at Penn State twice at night, and it is the greatest environment that I've ever been a part of. But like, you should be thanking Fox a little bit that when you play Penn State now, it's not the whiteout game at night, you know? And so I do think like the environment changes a bit just from it not being a night game. The other thing that becomes a big question too is there's supposed to be a special visitor going to that game, and the egress from that stadium is already difficult as it is. And if they have to get like special security and motorcades and things of that nature, like you just hope that all that stuff happens early enough in the day that it doesn't hinder anybody from getting into the stadium for the start of that football game. And so to answer your question, I do think it comes into play, and it's difficult anytime you go on the road into an environment that's that big. Just the fact that it's not at night, I do think gives you a little bit of breathing room there.
It's going to be interesting to see. Like you said, there's a lot going on. So the Buckeyes rushed the ball, Joshua, 31 times for 64 yards. Will Howard's baked into that as well, but less than 3 yards a carry for Quinn, Sean, and Trey. 31 rushes, you're sticking with the run. Now, you only had the ball for 25 minutes. You were 1 for 10 on third down. Would you have preferred that they abandon the run at some point and say, hey, don't worry about that. We were throwing it fairly well on them. Will looked, I thought, pretty good outside of his one errant throw for the interception. And just say, take those and let's just sling it?
I hate that. It's really difficult. I get the point there. It's like you can't continue to do things that aren't really working for you. I feel like the run game has to be a part of the game plan always. And we've also seen where Ohio State kind of did the abandon the run thing. And I think that's why we got to the point where we're at, where Ohio State's actively trying to run it even if it's not working. It's a double-edged sword there, certainly. And I think part of this idea of going back to the run, third and short, fourth down situations where you're going for it, you think even with some of the challenges up front, you've got two backs that can take it 50 yards at any point. Like, they just make one guy miss, or they run through one tackle, and it becomes an explosive play. And so I think maybe foolishly at times you sit back there and think, okay, I just hand the pill to one of these guys, and you never know what happens. And so I get the mentality of continuing to try to run the football. Certainly it feels like in hindsight, you probably want to change it up a little bit. But I'm not going to sit here and fault this team for doing that, because I was the guy who was complaining when I thought they dropped back too much.
Yeah, I'm with you, JP. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head on that. Quickly, before we get you out of here, other things that stood out in the Big Ten for you? We had another fight between big brother, little brother in the Michigan State game. Indiana doing a nice job getting past a decent Washington team, moving them to 8-0. It's the best start in school history. All kinds of different stuff in the Big Ten.
It's I'll mention two things. Indiana, they're for real. It's been fun to watch. It's an extremely well coached football team that does not make a lot of mistakes, and Kurt Cignetti's got those guys rolling. A lot more talent than anybody would have thought at the beginning of the year. For the Michigan State thing, I hated the idea that it got down to the final kneel down, and these guys just could not help themselves from doing something dumb out there. But it's real interesting to me, like the amount of running their mouth that Michigan did after that game, where it's like, you've got a bunch of first rounders, you're telling me, and you're supposed to be the better team. And like, it was real questionable, the performance that they had there. So like, it's just, that whole thing is hilarious to me. Like, even when they're down, they try to find a way to be up.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. Always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy trick or treat. What's the boy going as this year?
He's a pumpkin. We were gonna dress him up as a cookie, but allegedly the costume was not in stock, so he's just going to be a pumpkin like everybody else's 1-year-old.
That's what we did last year. We literally just hollowed out a gourd and put him in one. Like, he just went literally as a pumpkin. JP, always appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great week, buddy. We'll check in again soon, all right?
All right, I appreciate you guys.
There he goes, Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Right now we are watching a slowdown out in Dublin. I-270 westbound, we've got the right lane blocked off. In those westbound lanes, right near the 33 split. Expect to be slow moving through that stretch. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Bernie Moreno faced multiple lawsuits claiming discrimination against employees.
99. Two accused him of gender and age discrimination, and the third accuses him of race discrimination. Moreno was sued for failing to pay overtime wages.
At some point in life, we've all experienced that boss. You know, the boss you hope you never work for again. Well, Bernie Moreno is that boss. Bernie Moreno was sued for discriminating against his employees. Like a woman he belittled for being a single mom, and a black man demoted from his position as manager after raising concerns he was being paid less than his white co-workers. And Bernie Moreno was caught failing to pay his employees the overtime they earned. And then Moreno shredded evidence to try and cover it up. A judge ordered Moreno to pay $400,000 to former workers. Yes, Bernie Moreno is that boss. And he most certainly shouldn't be our senator.
I'm Sherrod Brown running for Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Can't make it to the game? Watch the Fan's pre- and post-game shows live on YouTube. Just search 97 on The Fan and click subscribe.
The Fan's YouTube channel is sponsored by Coors Light.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, you can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better, just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years, and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Check this out, the new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands.
Any?
Any.
Even if it's 4 years old?
Yeah.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. Trade in any phone from one of our top brands for the new iPhone 16 Pro with Unlimited Ultimate. Plus, get a new iPad. Trade-in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, plenty of sunshine, high 69. Tonight, clear, low 54.
And then near record warmth tomorrow. Look at this. Sunny on your Tuesday with a high of 80. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. A radio show hosted by two former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We're here on The Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Uncle Bo and the boys, they're going to be up after we're done. They got Tyvis Powell hanging out with them in studio. Talk a little Buckeyes. We'll check in with Austin Ward coming up here at 10:33. And, of course, they will talk about Sharks Cleveland Browns yesterday. Getting the dramatic victory of all dramatic victories, 29-24. Shark, let me ask you this question. When that ball was in the air from Lamar, seconds are winding down. They have 3 seconds to snap it. He avoids like 6 rushers on the backside of that. He's navigating his way around. Pump fakes the last Browns defender to get the open ball. When that ball is in the air, what are you thinking?
I wasn't thinking good things only because it's the Browns. Yeah. You know, it felt like they could have a
wide open dude just on the back of the end line, like
the Commanders did.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, like there's just some guy that got lost and is just literally wide open, catches it, doesn't even have to move. That's what I was waiting for, Shark.
Well, there were people complaining on social media about the Browns kicking the field goal to go up 6, and. Wait, is that right? To go up?
I think 5. 5, yeah.
And I'm thinking, thank goodness they did.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Stefanski, 4th down's his favorite down. He likes to not kick field goals in those situations. I was happy when Nebraska went for it on 4th and goal from the 1 because I thought, okay, 3 points could make a difference. And it did.
It did make a difference.
If they had kicked the field goal, they would have been within a field goal at the end. They wouldn't have had to go for the touchdown.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Couldn't believe that while the ball was in the air. I mean, I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, that's going to be completed.
It wasn't even while the ball was in the air.
But don't you worry, because I got that feeling just a few hours later on.
You did.
There was a part of me, Shark, because what were they on, like the 27 or something like that?
Because they got down the field, and there was like 3 plays where the Ravens just boom, boom, boom.
Right. They had used their timeouts on defense, and 59 seconds they get the ball back.
Yeah.
So if you're like within the 10, like inside 5
it was
10,
1st and 10 on the Cleveland 24. With 22 seconds left.
But there's like a point.
But you knew that Lamar couldn't run.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That was the other part. When he started running back, I'm like, ooh, I've seen this happen before too, where he's pretty fast, and all it takes is one guy missing a tackle, and then another.
Like a rugby style, like.
Was him getting a block?
Have
like
Derrick Henry behind him, and just a little like flip pass.
I felt pretty good about him not running from the 24. If he was at the 10. Yeah, that was.
Well, the thing is,
they had 7 guys back.
I know, but they're all in a line, so it just takes one guy getting shielded. It's not the greatest thing in the world.
Like a punt return, like when a punt return opens up.
Because there's a point where, like, if you're inside the 10, like, okay, you can legitimately run. If you get so far away, but like that 20, then there's just a lot of bodies, so there's no back line. Like, but you were right on the fringe to where there's enough space where that fast son of a gun can weave around. And I'm like, you know,
he's unbelievable.
I know.
He's going to, there's a good chance he's going to win his 3rd MVP this season.
He's awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Like, as a football enjoyer, I enjoy watching that guy play. Him and Derrick Henry in the backfield. Like, the Browns did a great job on Derrick Henry yesterday. Outside of that one run that Derrick had where he ripped it off on the left side for a pretty long game, like, they did a great job bottling him up. That should be illegal to have Lamar and Derrick Henry in the same backfield. Yeah. I'm happy that they reported on JOK, too, that he had all movement in his extremities, because that was scary when that happened. Like, immediately saw it because he was limp when he hit the ground.
You saw the neck, like, compress.
Yes. Yeah, that was a little bit scary. And especially that guy running into you, like Derrick Henry, that's a load, man. That is an absolute load. But, yeah, they got it done yesterday. So I know that you were feeling pretty good about Shark, which brings us to our fan poll today at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. Which team had the most surprising performance, good or bad, over the weekend? Bengals, Browns, Buckeyes. 2 out of the 3 of those are victories.
One is an unexpected victory.
One's an unexpected victory.
Actually, 2 were unexpected if you look at the pathways that they arrived there.
True. And then the Bengals on the opposite side of the coin, losing that game really in the fourth quarter, like with some of the turnovers.
Yeah, it was 17-17. He just scored the last 20.
Yeah, I mean, it was the fourth quarter. It was the turnovers and the offensive inability to get anything done. But now 0-4 on the year at home.
They've been hanging out with the Cowboys.
They have been hanging out with the Cowboys. And the road games for the Cowboys this year was their savior, but not last night. Not against the 49ers.
Nice pick for Dak to start the game off there.
Yeah, feeling good. I mean, the NFL, and I think everybody knows this, it delivers every week. Like that 1 o'clock witching hour, every game for the most part, other than the Lions, just smoking the Tennessee Titans.
I don't even know what they're doing out there. They're playing another sport.
The Lions?
Yes. I look up, you know how hard it is to score 50 points in an NFL game?
I don't know how many times their punt returner, whatever his name was, had like a 60-yard return on punts and or kickoffs yesterday. I mean, their special teams are even good.
Yeah. Even? What do you mean? Like, you think Man Campbell's going to let them have bad special teams?
No, not at all. But they were incredible yesterday. So, like, outside of that, the 1 o'clock games were insane. The 4 o'clock games were pretty good. And then, Sunday night game was all right. But who knows? But you just never know what's going to happen in the league. I mean, the Browns, for all intents and purposes, dead to rights in that game. No chance of them beating the Ravens, who look like the best team in the NFL, and then get a victory with Jameis thrown for 300+ and 3 touchdowns. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, good news next week, Shark. Jameis will give you those 3 picks you've been asking for.
Yes.
He tried to give them away He tried, but they wouldn't take them. Next week, their coaches will say, we're doing a lot of ball drills in. When that ball hits you, catch it.
Bob, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene on a big Tuesday?
I didn't really have that much fun today, Beam. I tried to have fun and drama.
I had a pretty good time today. Other than you saying, look at your Bears guy hyping up the crowd.
Because they keep showing it.
I know. I've been watching. Everybody have a great day. Uncle Bo and the boys are up next. We're back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We're still watching one crash out in Dublin on I-270 westbound right near the 33 split. We've got lanes blocked off as crews work to clear that out. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Monday Night Football tonight. The Steelers are a 6-point favorite over the Giants. Dating back to 1992, the Steelers are 21-1 straight up in home Monday Night Football games, with their only loss coming in 2020. Daniel Jones is 1-16 straight up in his career at night. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Marty Brenneman here for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues. And they're the leader for a reason, because I can tell you from my own experience of being treated there, Tri-State Men's Health is top shelf. Far too many men wait to get their ED treated, but I want to tell you today that you shouldn't wait any longer. If you're suffering with ED and are like most guys, a medical team at Tri-State Men's Health will get you back on track fast. They have the experience, they have the treatment protocols, and they know what they're doing. At Tri-State Men's Health, they have ED treatments that are effective in well over 90% of men. They can even combine treatments for better results. You might even find yourself performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. They have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief, as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gehenna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Just announced for the rest of Rocktober, we're lowering the finance rate to 0.9% on every new Lindsay Honda. And you still get the Lindsay Honda difference. A $1,295 value package included with every vehicle purchase.
This is it.
Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24 and 25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.